Welcome once again to Etihad Stadium. What a big day it is for this man and his team. The Brisbane Lions have had a tragic year, there's no doubt about that. There are question marks over players, question marks over coaches. An emotional day for Daniel Merritt. He's playing his 200th and last game. We wish him well. For the Saints, it's a chance to have their best finish for 5 years. A win today would give them 12 wins for the season, and that would certainly be a plus for Alan Richardson and his young side that is growing with confidence as the days go by. Welcome, as I said, to Etihad Stadium. Welcome to Dwayne Russell. Great to have you with us, Dwayne. And we saw in our opener that Justin Leppitsch is here. There's a huge question mark over his future.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the evolution of football. Obviously, there's the elephant in the room about whether it's Lepper's last game as an AFL coach, but there's talks this week that maybe he's going to hang on and coach out his contract next year. Last game for Merritt, but the first game for White. So, you know, it's a great time to be coming into football, I think, for a young player, and he's making his AFL debut today.
Yeah, speaking of the Lions rooms, let's head down there now with Jason Dunstall.
Thanks, Sandy. Well, Lepper, first and foremost, how are your emotions heading into the last game of the season, particularly given the uncertainty surrounding the coaching position at Brisbane?
Oh, look, I'm good, to be perfectly honest, Chase. I think everyone's looking for the finish line, particularly those outside the finals race. But obviously we've got a bit more to play out over the next week, haven't we, at our footy club? But look, I'm comfortable where I'm at.
And you speak about a lot of the teams looking for the finish line. We've seen some big margins already. How do you keep the players focused heading into this one?
It's a challenging week, this one. We've seen some big blowouts, and funny enough, we won this game last year against the Doggies. So there's always upsets as well this time of the year. So we're hoping to do that again.
And I guess with the players as well, they see what's going on around the club and they see the pressure that you're under. How do they try and help you? How do you talk to them throughout the course of the week and actually remember that there's focus needed on a game of footy?
Well, I don't put the pressure onto them, that's for sure. I keep myself throughout the week. I probably feel for the younger players the most. They're out there trying their best and probably don't have the capabilities yet to mix it week in, week out. So, but a lot of them are out there doing their best. They just need the time, the experience to sort of take us where we want to get to.
Confident you can finish the season with a win again?
Yes, I am. I am today. I think the boys are in good. It's actually been good the last couple of weeks. We had a win and a competitive loss last week, and hopefully we can do another upset.
Good luck today, mate, and let's hope the future pans out well for you.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, good to see that he is remaining positive. It's going to be an emotional day for this man, Daniel Merritt, playing his 200th and final game. And Danny Frawley caught up with him a few moments ago.
Well, Daniel, your last game, your 200th game, what are the feelings like?
I was a bit nervous today, Spud. Yeah, I couldn't really eat all my lunch, which I usually absolutely devour. But yeah, then coming in on the bus, a bit of a weird feeling to think this will be the last time I'll do it.
And what about your first game? You kicked a goal. Any chance today?
Mate, I think so. I think that was a bit of just a kick off the ground. So today I'm going to try and get up the field a bit, I reckon. Looks like I'm matching up on Rui, but what if I just let Rui go and I'll just scoot up the field and see if he can chase me?
Well, just before we go, I'll be disappointed if you don't get a couple of ear massages, mate. So good luck for today.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Cheers.
Good on you.
The Danny Frawley ear massage, yes, we say good luck to him. He's been a good soldier for the Brisbane Lions. Let's have a look at the ladder. There's interest at the top, there's interest in the middle, and there's interest at the bottom. Now, we've done our maths, Dwayne, and we can tell our viewers that if the Saints manage to kick 46 goals 9 or 47 goals 3, whatever it adds up to 286, and restrict the Brisbane Lions to one straight goal, they will sneak above North Melbourne by 0.1. It's unlikely, but perhaps we'll know more by half-time.
Yeah, or we can just tell our viewers, of course, Sandy, that if they win today, they will have doubled their win tally of 6-12 this season and had an outstanding year and just missed the 8.
Now you're being too sensible for us. Brandon White is a young man we hope you're going to hear a lot more of in the future. It's a big day for him because he's playing his first game for the Saints, and he was a short time ago presented with his jumper by Jaron Geary, and we certainly wish him well. He's a rebounding defender. Just a young man with a great future, and boy, was he nervous but excited on draft day.
Pick 40, St.Kilda Football Club, Brandon White.
Great to see the emotion of the entire family and, of course, friends, and we wish him well in his first game. He'll be starting on the half-back flank right after this break.
Welcome back to Etihad Stadium. Final game of the round for these two teams' final game of their season before we head into a final series. And for Armitage, it's his 150th game. And for Nick Riewoldt, the final game as captain as well. And he's been one of the great captains of the AFL.
No, he has, Dwayne. Outstanding. Only 6 games behind Steve Kernahan as the longest-serving captain in the history of the game. And, yeah, I think it's time to hand the baton over. I think it's great that he's playing next year. And obviously Geary, Armitage, Stephen, there's a lot of candidates for next year.
Well, Jack Stephen is headed for, you would think, an All-Australian jumper. They're the ins and outs for today, of course, with White, who have mentioned playing his first game. And we don't even know if Sam Fisher's playing his last game for the Saints. That could be something that we're going to hear at the end of this game. But congratulations, by the way, to David Armitage. 150 games as they break through the banner. He'd be a Brisbane Lions player under the academy system that we've got in place now, given that he's from Northern Queensland. But who will be the next captain? Could it be Jack Stephen? He's had a phenomenal year.
Difficult to say, Spud. You're a little closer to it than the rest of us are, but on playing ability and what he does out on the ground, you would say Jack Stephen's the obvious one, but it doesn't always pan out that way. There's a lot more that goes into captaincy.
No, there's Darren Geary there as well. You've got David Armitage playing his 150th. Seb Ross is a youngster that's come through this year and has great leadership. Jack Nunes is another one. So there's a few candidates there, and I think it's great that Riewoldt's going to play next year to be able to get these guys bedded in as a captain.
And Daniel Merritt gave us the indication that Riewoldt might start forward, and it's going to be a pretty potent forward line today if he does.
Well, they're very consistent goal kickers for the St Kilda Football Club. Membry leading the way with 42 goals. Josh Bruce has 35 and Nick Riewoldt 32. And there's a feeling that with McCartan out, Riewoldt will play more forward today. And they've just combined consistently throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, and of course, Membry's been the really good story, hasn't he? Missed the first 5 games, didn't get an opportunity. And throw in Mav Weller as well, so the half-forward line. So the pointy end of the ground looks pretty promising for the Saints for the future.
Got one of the greatest ever goal kickers forwards up here, Jason Dunstall, 3rd greatest goal kicker of all time. And one of the great forwards also downstairs joining us today, Cam Mooney, 3-time premiership gun on the boundary line. Welcome to you, Cam.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dwayne. Look, obviously beautiful conditions down here. The roof is open, the sun is out. Nice 17 degrees down here right now. But talk about Alan Richardson and what he's done for this football club since he's gone here. He's got littered with talent, we know that. But more importantly, he's building a spine. This is the most important thing when you're going forward. Hugh Goddard, we know he's had that Achilles problem, but we'll be back next year. Carlo, we know he was with that suspension, but he'll be back next year. Jack Stevens, you guys are talking about maybe All-Australian. Tom Hickey has now put himself into the category of one of the best ruckmen in the competition this year. Josh Bruce, 85 goals the last couple of years, and obviously McCartan. Now, this is a story, though, guys. Can they go out and lure a big fish? Can they get a Tommy Rockcliffe? Can they get a Jager O'Meara, who now is on the market that we know? So it's going to be very interesting. But look, boys, really looking forward to this one. It's going to be an interesting game. Looking forward to seeing how the Saints finish off the year.
There's no doubt Jake Carlisle will be a great acquisition for the Saints. You think about the tall, tight defender, and obviously Sam Fisher, we're not sure whether he's going on next year, so Jake Carlisle will slot in beautifully for the back line. But it's all about today, Jace. You would think the Saints need to win this.
To get us underway, here's the guru, Sandy Roberts.
Thank you, Dwayne. And set to go with St Kilda going to the left of screen. Holmes doing the ruck work. Armitage in 150. Gets it out. An opportunity for Ross to go wide. They give a little ground here. Dempster's hand pass is okay. Back towards the wing they go. Membry in the thick of things, but had to take on a couple on that occasion. Rich went over the top, but without the football. Stephen got caught, loses it, pushed towards the boundary line, and eventually, well, it's going to be kept in play there by Big Bell. Loses it to Stephen. Jack goes in towards the middle. Holmes is going to be under pressure here. He's got to beat a couple. Pushes it out to Joey Montagna. Montagna goes to the new boy. Here he is, Brandon White, taken to ground. Not before he got it to Stephen. Off to Montagna. Back into the middle once again. Kick's got to be good, and it is. Ross is away, but he's caught. Ripping tackle, great chase. Weller tries to push wide, was looking for Nunes, didn't find him. The Martin hand pass okay, and there's going to be a free kick down the ground.
Yeah,
it's going to go to Mitch Robinson, I think.
It's against Jack Stephen. I know you're all over this, Moons. Mitch Robinson doing a heavy tag on Stephen.
Look, he's doing a big heavy tag. He just knocked him on his backside straight away there, boys.
And he got grumpy. Rockcliffe from 40. Perfect start.
Well, it is a good start, but if you turn the ball over, you make mistakes. We saw Seb Ross run down in the middle of the ground. Sort of wobbly kick into the centre corridor from Jack Stevens, so a little shaky early. Plenty of feeling in this one. We know that Mitch Robinson is going to be all over Jack Stephen. He's got to learn to cope with that, not strike out in retaliation or get frustrated into producing some sort of response that leads to a free kick.
Promising start for the Brisbane Lions and Tommy Rockcliffe as we go back in the middle with Holmes and Martin.
Pretty good start from Brandon White too, with 2 early touches.
Yeah.
First gamer.
Do his confidence the world of good, won't it? Which is great to see. Hand pass was shot out by Pierce Hanley, and they go forward once again through Rich, deep in towards full forward. Does it bounce kindly for Fisher? No, it doesn't, but he accepts the hand pass and gets a kick away. It's high, it's wide. Is it too wide? Yes, it is. And off the hands of the pack and over the boundary line. Question mark over Chips Fisher. Is it going to be his last game?
Yeah, well, he's been a great war horse for the Saints. Dual Bresson Ferris winner, All-Australian.
Yeah, game number 228 today. Montagna has had another very consistent season. Floats it high. No one able to get away cleanly. Pushed towards the boundary line once again. Pierce Hanley working hard but couldn't take the footy. Neither could Armitage. Rich in there as well. He's got it now. Gets the hand pass away. Lions doing all the attacking at the moment. And there's another one on the board. What a start by the Lions and Tommy Cutler.
Very close to the post.
I believe it's a behind. It is the post.
Oh, it's grazed the post, I think.
Score review.
Yeah.
Umpire's call is that it hits the post. Can we please confirm?
Yeah, you can see the ball change trajectory there after it hits the inside of the post.
And we'll wait and see on the review. Confirmed behind. So Cutler misses out. Had a good week last week, though, with 24 disposals, despite his side getting belted by 10 goals.
Bruce comes down for Robertson to provide a lead option over the head to Riewoldt. Andrews got the fist down. Zorko, pocket, doing all the attacking at the moment. Gets it inside 50 straight through Geary. Little sidestep was good. Bender around the body might be just as good. Golden start. Dawson slopped it through.
Well, this is a great start from the Brisbane Lions. They've had all 5 inside 50s at the moment. It looked like the Saints, they started well the first couple of minutes, but it's been all the Brisbane Lions through Zorko and Rockcliffe. And we saw Dawson here. So the long kick out from Robertson, but the Brisbane Lions read that well. They fisted it back and then they got the ball moving quickly, and that was the key. There's a fumble there from the St Kilda player.
That's the Tommy Cutler kick, just shaving the post. But it didn't affect the Liam Dawson, who's come back into the side this week for just his 7th game. And he's got their 2nd goal. All one-way traffic at the moment, although Martin has given away a free kick here.
Yeah, Zorko started really well too, guys. 3 score involvements for his 3 touches.
Holmes replacing Hickey in towards Membry and Riewoldt, and it's the latter who takes the mark.
Yeah, Daniel Merritt has got the job on Riewoldt if he's playing closer to goal. Playing his last game, of course, Daniel Merritt, his 200th. He's had a great career, but he's going to know he's played his last game if he's going to spend the day on Nick Riewoldt.
Who's playing his 319th game today.
His set shot history there.
Just a couple of games behind Buckets Low. Deep into the square and out the back, make it an opportunity for a snap, and they do, and Wright kick the goal.
Been a handy player, Nathan Wright, since St Kilda put him forward. He started his career as a half-back. He puts a lot of pressure on, and he's in the right spot at the right time. And see Riewoldt's shot at goal just come off the side of his boot, and it was should have went through there from the Brisbane Lions defence. Pretty poor defence in the end, not to spoil that through. And Nathan Wright snapped truly for a much-needed goal for St Kilda, just to give them a little bit of confidence after a very good start from the Brisbane Lions.
Spud, interesting move through the middle of the ground with St Kilda. Gilbert just came off the bench about 5 minutes ago, went straight into the middle. He's again in this centre bounce.
Holmes to go at the ruck work. Martin with him. Good flick down. Armitage the clearance to half forward. Taylor tried to break through. Got it out just in time. And Matheson has made a forte of that. Slipping the high tackle. It was there. He got to pay it. Hanley gives it up. Cutler. He's got a long option.
Oh, well,
fisted away by the first gamer, White, who's looked pretty good.
No, he looks really composed. That was a really good spoil. He had a beautiful kick, one of the first kicks for the game. And there's Matheson. He does go low, doesn't he, Dwayne? And
yeah,
you're always going to wear it when you're playing. Holmes there is 200 centimetres.
And ironically, Brandon White in his first game is the cousin of Justin Lepich, and a Brisbane Lions fan all his life. Grew up with Justin Lepich's jumper on the lounge room wall.
And there's a shade of irony about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Playing against the Brisbane Lions in his debut. Maybe they brought him in because of the beauty and the serendipity of it. Back into play. Little palm down, just missed Hanley. Holmes and Armitage dive in with some help from Zorko, not coming out. And we'll get a ball up on the wing.
7 points favouring the Lions. Hanley was the flyer. Rockcliffe needs assistance, gets it from Rich. High ball up towards the 50. Jostling at the back was Brandon White again. Montagna lays a good tackle and then gets the footy. Well done by the veteran. The Saints out of trouble once more. Geary's kick is smothered, however. Well smothered and over the boundary line. And we've got a throw in. Well done by Liam Dawson.
That was a really good smother. No left foot from Jaron Geary there. This is the clearance area where Brisbane are right on top at the moment, 6-1. So Rich, Rockcliffe, Zorko, Cutler and Martin have all had a clearance. St Kilda only the one.
Martin and Holmes again. Gilbert lurking. Chance for Zorko once more. Gets clear. He's inside 50, but he's away to the right and one behind. Starting really well, though.
He was at the back of that stoppage all on his own, read it beautifully. Would have been a pretty special goal if he had have threaded that one. 4
disposals to Zorko. 4 to Rockcliffe, 3 to Cutler. Here's a chance for Riewoldt on the outer side.
Well, Zorko's a damaging player. 4 score involvements with his 4
hurt,
touches.
Riewoldt. He's hurt.
Riewoldt's down. Keep an eye on him as they go in towards full forward once again. Little too long and over the head of Membry. The chance once again for Matheson to clear.
I reckon he got one to the head. And he's had some concussion history, Riewoldt. And he may have just been grabbed or hit to the head in that marking attempt. Speaking of hits, big hard hit on Robinson. Armitage knocks it out. Holmes gets it up. Driving kick, goal square, good delivery. Not quite the mark to Akers. Hits the deck. Robinson again. Plenty of traffic there to weave his way through. Merritt flicks it wide. Lester, back pocket. And Riewoldt still with the trainers here.
Lester looks to go back inboard. It's going to be okay.
Spode, you love a couple of these efforts from these defenders today. You see White going back before, and you see Andrews going back with a fly to the ball to get that spoil on. That was brilliant.
No, he's a really good young player, Harris Andrews. I really like him. As you said, Moons, he fights tooth and nail for defence, and that's what you want from a young defender.
Bastanak, one of just 2 Lions to have played every game so far this year. Bastanak finds Robinson, thought about giving it back. Now he may have a problem. No, he gets clear. Mitch's kick up towards centre wing, and a good strong mark is taken by Josh Clayton.
Yeah, Mitch Robinson doing a job on Steve, and not only that, he's getting a fair bit of the ball, Mitch Robinson.
Clayton to go long. Inside 50 once again. A big pack of players. Waiting down was Keys. Tries to get the hand pass away. It's a little too wide and over the line.
Here's the Riewoldt. Just goes down there. Yeah, it's just with the right arm, I think, from the defender. On that occasion, Darcy Gardner, I think, just grazed the side of his head.
Gee, made him earn his free.
Yeah, he did.
Old style. Just out of Robinson's reach. Stephen flicks it away. No handball, but not a throw either. Walker tried to get it up in the congestion. Billings, Gilbert, Bell, sidestep, found some space, kicked it out on the full. Didn't quite go to plan.
But I'd be interested to watch with a lot of the St Kilda boys with Jack Stevens. He's been getting heavily tagged, obviously. He needs a bit of help. And he needs somebody, I think, just to go over to Mitch Robertson and maybe just put him on his backside every now and then.
No, you're right, Mearns. I think the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's been fairly quiet as far as disposals goes, and that's taking nothing away from Jack, but he is wearing a lot of the hard tagging from all the opposition. You're right. You have a look at the screen here. There's no one around Jack Stephen, and I think Jack needs to get busy and get past Gilbert and Weller and these guys to try and get some separation.
Look, he does, but they also need to go and find him as well and just put a little bit of pressure on just to give him that space.
Seb Ross decided to leave that ball in the end. Now Rich tries to steal it away from Jack Billings, can't do so. Holmes again with Martin. Billings working hard. Stephen, clear, goes wide, wants Montagna on the outer side. Beautiful delivery, wonderful kick. And Montagna's away, stabs it. It's going to drop a little short. Difficult one for Riewoldt to try and get on the half volley. And they could turn it over here and it could be costly. Looks in towards the middle. Lions getting the first couple of goals, and they want another one here. Robertson twists out of trouble beautifully. Gets the hand pass away. They're steaming inside forward, the forward line. The kick was by Bell in towards full forward. Pressure on the defence now, and then Ross and also Brandon, who takes it over the line and one behind.
Yeah, that was... There's Daniel Rich giving some Jack Stevens some heat.
Well, they know who their match winner is.
Yeah.
Robertson to bring it back into play. Goes to himself. And then wide to the outer side. A little too much on the kick. And over the line it goes.
Look, Justin Levitt should be wrapped at the start. They've had the 10 inside 50s. Brisbane Lions, St Kilda have only had the 3. So they've just dominated.
Umpires, not sure if you can hear that at home, but keep an eye on Robinson and co.
Well, it's funny, Dempster just, as we spoke, boys, Dempster just put him on his backside, so that was great.
Right, so Robinson's the one the umpires are keeping the eye on, and co.
But the fact they said Robinson and co means they understand Jack Stevens getting targeted. And they know there's going to be things happening around him and his direct opponent, Mitch Robinson.
Flick out wide to Montagna. Trying to keep it rolling. Ross, Montagna, good, swift ball use. This is the kick, though. It's got right long, didn't get to him. He had Riewoldt long as well. They messed it up. Mays, Merritt, through some traffic, the rebound kick.
Gee, I like the positioning of Harris Andrews when he's matched up on Riewoldt, which happens at times. He's taking front spot away from Riewoldt, taking the lead away.
And Walker tried to use it cleverly to Dawson, cut off by McKenzie. And now quick rebound football from the Saints. Robertson goes long. Riewoldt's there short. Armitage, if he wants him, sees him run back to the square. Overcooked the pass. Loney's down there as well. Tucked into the pocket and drives it home. It worked after all.
Wasn't probably the right way they wanted to kick the goal, but it got there eventually. And Armitage, we saw Riewoldt go back to the top of the square. It was a really good positioning from Riewoldt. Good run from Robertson. Shoulders out from that clearance, and Armitage obviously should have hit this target. He didn't. But Jack Loney, the half forwards for St Kilda, being electric at the moment. Good shepherd from Riewoldt in the end, and really good snap from Loney. Had a up and down year, Jack Loney.
Loney and Wright, the goal kickers for St Kilda. Rockcliffe and Dawson for the Lions. And their lead is cut to just 3 points. Back in the middle once again. Martin doing the ruck work, doing the roving work. Tried to get it out towards Robinson, who's on it now. He just tried to soccer it forward. Little duck there. That was going to be okay by Loney, who's just kicked his goal. Gives it to Akers, who goes up towards the forward line once again. Riewoldt is there. Merritt is there as well. Defence working hard for the Brisbane Lions. But Savage is going to chop this off and mark just on 50.
Well, he'll get the trip. It's just a matter of whether he's accurate. He's one of the better kicks in the competition. Savage looks like he's starting forward today. He's played most of the year down back. Obviously, Brandon White coming in as a half-back flanker has pushed Savage to the half-forward line.
Just missed the one game. Looking for his 4th goal of the season. Stammer then out to the right. Does he straighten it up? No, he's gone across the face, away to the left and through for a behind.
Interesting run-up, Jace, wasn't it?
I don't think with his length he actually... Oh, that's very close out the full, but just stays in. I don't think he needs to run out on a big arc because he is such a penetrating kick. Anyway, he'll kick 55 metres easily.
Taylor just kept that ball in. Towards centre wing. That's a poor kick over. Turnover. Dempster gives it to Savage. Savage inside 50 once again. Where are the big boys? Well, Riewoldt couldn't get a fly. Almost did the roving. He did do the roving. He gives it away, and Nunes gets the goal.
Oh, that was terrific play from Nick Riewoldt. He knew there was a lot of people around, and he half went for the ball, so he kept his feet on the ground, and that was the ability for him. You just see Riewoldt there to the side. He knew there was a lot of pack there, so he stayed down a little bit and just had the awareness to get a ground level handball to Nunes. That's a beautiful bit of footage there. That is a half chance. Really good goal. Great team goal. You can see he just stays down on his feet, hands to Nunes. Great goal.
3 goals in a row for the Saints. Take the lead for the first time in this game after the Lions kicked the opening 2. And we've seen the Lions be competitive early in games, but not stay in games. So the question being asked of them again now is Akers was held. Oh, he got under that, but it might still work. It's out wide. Zorko nearly stole it. Rockcliffe lends a hand. Horrible hand, though. Turned it over. Bruce didn't have Pryor. Couldn't shake the tackle. Ball up.
Let's make sure we play the footy, guys, okay?
Saints, 11 wins as it stands right now. They had 6 wins last year. Massive improvement if they double that and finish with 12 this year. Nunes sends them to full forward. Riewoldt down there, tied up, almost. Merritt had a piece of it. Comes to the back. Bell under some pressure. Nothing to handball to. He was mauled. He was dragged over the line.
Bell scored a try.
It actually ended up the best result for him. Yeah. The smothered hand pass came back. He was able to get possession, and then under real pressure, nearly scored a try. Yeah. Trying to dive over the line.
Yeah. So back into play. Dempster attempts to spoil and was pretty effective in the end over Eric Hipwood. Back inside 50 though. Armitage couldn't complete the mark. Wright is there as well for the Saints. Rockcliffe lurking. So after a quiet start, the Saints putting the foot down, getting the last 3 goals. Holmes uses the body. Riewoldt, third man up, flicking it closer towards goal, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of the Brisbane Lions.
We just saw there St Kilda the last 6 inside 50s as well, so repeat entries puts any defence under pressure, let alone a very young defence in the Brisbane Lions.
Just under 9 minutes remaining in this first half. Walker, the flyer, went a little too early, didn't judge it at all well. Goes towards Jaron Geary, who gives it off to Savage, tumbles a punt down towards the pocket region and fisted away over the boundary line by Sam Mays for a throw-in.
Every player in one half of the ground right now. Holmes to do the ruck work. Riewoldt plans to be third man up, but he was edged out of the contest. Bell tried to feed it to Hanley. Stevens stole it, almost high, was high.
Yeah, really well. Great ball winning ability of Jack Stephen there. He knows he's getting a hard tag and he's going to have to win. It's a contested ball there. Oh, Jack Loney.
And there's a blue on about him, but he's just walking away.
Yeah, I'm not sure Jack Loney will be able to do much. All due respect to the young fella.
That's a bit harsh.
Oh, well, he's
been some small fighters over time.
Yeah, I like it, Wayne, but obviously not in his weight division at the moment. Up against Daniel Merritt.
You've dug yourself a nice hole there.
But Jack Stephen, probably a best and fairest and maybe an all-Australian. He's already got a couple of BNFs to his name and he posts it.
We still had the 6 disposals. Robinson's had 5, so it's a pretty good duel so far. It's going to be on for young and old, that particular matchup all day.
Cutler's had 8 for the Lions. Montagna's had 7 for the Saints. Bell gives the hand pass away. Rockcliffe back it once again. In towards the middle. Chopped off, however. Beautiful interception by McKenzie. Gives it off to Akers. 42 metres out. He's away to the right, sadly. And Weller won't get there in time.
Really well read from McKenzie.
Well, they're trying to create some run out of defence. You can just see Sam Mays, you can't turn the ball over like that. That's going to hurt you. Lucky they didn't get punished. But they're trying to create some good rebound and run out of defence, the Lions.
Holmes got the front spot. Just pushing the ball around. No one clear. Mays tried to get it out initially. Now a high ball back towards Membry. Got a good pair of hands. And he's had a very good season, averaging over 3 goals a game.
And as well as having that good pair of hands, he is the #1 choice if you're a St Kilda fan to see one of your players lining up for goal.
Yeah.
And there was a free kick behind play.
Been reversed.
Oh, well, that's inexcusable.
Brisbane free kick.
Well, I know what they're trying to do with Robinson, but that you just don't do it at that stage. When St Kilda are shooting for goal, that's a brain fade from the Saints player there. Not sure who it was, but we'll get to see it.
Riewoldt's arguing with the umpire about it.
Well, it's a let-off, isn't it?
Yeah, that's inexcusable when someone's shooting for goal.
Leicester gives it away. Bell. The Lions now into attack. Geary front spot. Walker came at him hard from behind. Waiting down an opportunity for Bastanak. Round the body he goes in the mark. The diving mark taken by Dawson, who's already kicked one.
Well, this will really hurt. Membry, as you said, Jace, it was just a matter of how accurate his goal shooting ability was going to be, and I'm pretty sure it might have been one of the leaders, St Kilda, that actually tried to upend Mitch Robinson, just having a bottom end. Yeah, Nick Riewoldt just pushed him straight over.
It's not the first time Nick Riewoldt's done that, so he as captain has taken it upon himself to try and protect Jack Stephen, but he just needs to be careful the way he's doing it.
Well, it's the timing, Jace. You don't do it before he shoots for goal, do it after.
So they're looking at a 2-goal turnaround here, and that is what has happened. The Lions have taken advantage. Dawson has his second, and Brisbane have squared it away at 3-3, 21 apiece.
A number of forwards we haven't seen a lot of. Liam Dawson's one. They've also got Josh Clayton playing up forward. Those mid-size, tallish types. Showed good movement. He got back there. He was goal side of his opponent. He was going to get the free kick if he didn't take the mark anyway.
Yeah, spot on, Jason. Liam Dawson just his 7th game of the year, and Josh Clayton's 2nd game of the year up there playing in the full forward line. The son of Scott, of course, their father-son. They got at pick 86.
Yes, obviously Scotty, the list manager of the Gold Coast Suns.
Yeah, no, certainly was a gun. Speaking of son of guns, let's hope he has a good second game. Rich, their confidence is rising here. Matheson, and it's still on behind play, by the way. But they're about to drive it forward again. And they've got Hipwood as well forward, and he's been forward and benched. Had a couple of rests to make sure he's fresh when he's on.
Just got away from Shawnee Dempster on the lead, and now we'll get a good look. Saw him having a lot of shots pre-game. It's a long, deliberate run-up. You can see he goes back a long way. And he just ambles in. Just needs to make good contact, but they weren't coming perfectly off the left boot.
They're pick 14 from last year's draft. Little run to the side before he struck it.
And got too close to the man on the mark as well.
Well, again, he ran out to think he wasn't going to make the distance, Jason. As I said, you're the guru. He's going to make the distance, so why not just run in a straight line?
Most players, for whatever reason, don't factor in the 50-metre arc and say, well, I know I can kick 50 metres with my normal kicking style. Once I'm outside, yes, I probably need a little bit of extra leg, and you tend to go out on the arc, but just need to trust themselves that the ball will carry 50 metres. And it normally does carry pretty well here at Etihad.
Right, goes towards the half-back line. Bruce was one of the flyers. Lions charging towards attack once again, but there's a ripping tackle. And he's taken him to ground, and he's going to win the ball. Zorko's been done by Geary.
It's a good tackle.
He's one of the players, Danny, I'm sure, that would be considered for captaincy.
No doubt, no doubt. On and off the field, he's a fantastic leader. He's unconditional in the contest. Obviously, his kicking ability at times can be questioned, but he's the type of player that you'd love to play beside.
Montagna for his 8th disposal to Ross.
It's a great kick back into the corridor.
He's had a really good season and a fantastic month, Seb Ross. And yet another couple perhaps before quarter time. Bruce has it thumped away from him. Still got an opportunity though, because there was a high tackle on Loney. Loney swings around now onto the left boot. Where are the flyers? Akers was in there, no one waiting down. Now an opportunity. But the tackling is solid. Merritt in his last game is determined to hold it up, and he does.
Yeah, Membry had a really good fly at the ball and just failed to bring it down.
So thrown up once again. Holmes belts it away from goal initially. Hanley in trouble, gets claim, not before he gets it away towards Zorko. To the outer side they go, and a big fly and an excellent mark. Sees the Saints come forward once again through White. Little chip pass, too short. Rich might take advantage of it. He does. Gets away from Gilbert. He pops it over the top to Hipwood. He gives a hand pass away now. They've run into trouble once again. That was Zorko. Hanley under pressure, tries to get back to Rich. He loses it. And now the Saints go charging forward, spiralling up towards the big guns in Holmes. He's there, but he couldn't take the mark. He also had assistance through Membry, who's still lurking. And so too is Loney. And Loney kicks his second.
No, it's great to see from Jack Loney. It's been a number of weeks in the VFL, and that's what he did all last year. Hit the pack hard, he's quick. And you see the turnover here. I think it was McKenzie and Robertson forced the turnover. McKenzie got the ball onto his boot, kicked long to a contest. And you can just see here, Loney, like all good half forwards, just bided his time and then he attacked the ball, half chance. That's what your half forwards need to do. 2 goals is a really good start from Loney.
Inside 3 minutes to quarter time. Holmes doing the ruck work against Martin again. Straight through Rich, but he was quick onto it. Rockcliffe handball over his head. Robertson tries to don't argue, it was high. Free kick. Robertson not allowed to play onto advantage. Robertson arguing the call. McKenzie wide. Put him under pressure, but he's good enough, Billings. Wide ball, Ross. Nice collect on the half volley. Slips a kick. The Riewoldt on the move. He can't quite half volley it. Nearly out on the full. It was off his knee. There's the fend to the throat.
We've got to love the way he plays, Mitch Robertson. He's tough. I think he's found his niche now for Brisbane, being the run-with type player. Not only that, he can win the ball.
Rockcliffe turns it over. Horrible. Nunes almost missed his boot with it. It might work. Bruce.
Well, they've been pretty quiet, Riewoldt, Membry and Bruce. They've only taken the 2 marks between them. We know he'll keep presenting Josh Bruce. He's a great athlete. In the right spot at the right time there.
He was in better position, Harris Andrews, and he lost sight of the ball there, Spud, because
he did.
Bruce started behind him and ran past him.
Won their goal kicking last year, won't win it this year. Josh Bruce, 35 for the year. Membry's got 42.
You would have thought he'd kick better than 50% from this point on the ground.
This will give them their biggest lead in the shadows at quarter time, and that was never in doubt. Goal umpire did not move.
Well, they've got a great forward set up, St Kilda, with Membry being a contested mark player, Josh Bruce. And you're right, Jace, that his positioning's been really good, Harris Andrews, and this kick was a hurried kick. He's in front, and he just allowed Bruce to run past him. He just had to body him up. He was aware of where he was, and he just allowed him to get the front position, which eventually cost him a goal. So when he watches this review, and obviously he's got pre-season to work on that, once you're in front, stay in front.
So Josh Bruce has his 93rd career goal. And his 36th this season. Just over a minute remaining. Stephen out of the middle once again. Sends the Saints up towards the forward line. Riewoldt was the flyer waiting down. Don't tell me he's going to kick another one. No, this time Loney away to the left.
No, he looks like he's on song. Jack Loney.
Isn't he?
Yeah, 6 disposals. He's had 3 shots already for a half forward. He looks really dangerous. Piers Hanley's got his hands full at the moment on Jack Loney.
You'd see there Mavuela standing well to the inside of the mark, just encouraging the player to kick up the line.
Gilbert. Hand pass inboard. He wanted to get it back again. He may get away from Rockcliffe. He does, but he's got that left foot, so he check sides it in towards goal, and it goes over the top of the pack and through for a behind.
Like most left-footers, Sam Gilbert, isn't it? They want their left foot. They don't like the right.
Yeah, the right is just there for balance, isn't it?
Mays.
Hold them upright.
Hipwood with one hand. That's very good, Spud. No one able to get it out cleanly for the Saints.
Thanks,
eventually
Andy.
It does. Stephen gives it to Ross. Seb, little stab pass is good.
Oh, that's a good pass.
Beautifully done, and Weller will go back and have what may well be the last kick of the quarter, but a chance to stretch St Kilda's lead.
And that's the improvement from Seb Ross. He was recruited as a ball winner, but his game in the outside has really improved with his running ability. And not only that, his finishing skills have really improved this year under the coaching of Adam Kingsley in the midfield. He's taken it to another level.
Kicking from just inside 50, or actually spot on. Starting it to the right, and that's where it's going to remain. And it's belted over defensively for one behind by Harris Andrews. Right on siren time. So quarter time here at Etihad. And it was the Lions who got the early run. They kicked the opening couple of goals. Took St Kilda a while to get going, but then they put the foot down and have moved to 5-5-35, leading the Lions 3-4-22. It is the Saints by 13 points. Good start by the Brisbane Lions. Dawson was busy early. He kicked a couple of goals and the Brisbane Lions shot away. But then little Jack Loney had other ideas at the other end of the ground, and he really came into the game. Had 3 opportunities to goal. He was successful on 2 of those 3, and that enabled the Saints to put their noses in front at quarter time by 13 points. Exciting young forward. And there you can see 5-5-35 to the Brisbane Lions 3-4-22. Let's quickly go down to the boundary once again. 3-time premiership player Cam Mooney. Moons.
Yeah, thanks, Sandy. Look, one of the obviously interesting matchups is he's Jack Stevens v Robertson at the moment, and you can just tell Brisbane are making a big effort. When they get him, when they tackle him, they knock him to the ground, they lay on top of him. Here we see Rich, couldn't let him up, but leave him on the ground, you lay on him, you try and keep him down there because you know his speed is so good, you know he's their link-up player. We see Robertson as well, though, that tag player we spoke about that can get his hands on the ball. And then we did talk about the St Kilda players trying to make it a hard day for Mitch Robertson. Every time he runs past, put him on his backside if you can. And we just see here again, a bit of a high shot there, and everybody come in, and we see Riewoldt in a minute. We want this to happen. We want a little bit of boys looking after him, just not here, just not that. That's the bad one, and I know Nick would be really disappointed with that. Yeah, that was a costly turnover. The ball went straight down the other end for a goal, but Jack Stevens still been very busy, picked up 9 disposals and really is a great little workhorse. A quick look at the ladder, and really no change as far as Brisbane is concerned on their percentage, on their position. Percentage has always been a problem for St Kilda. It's a bit like Hawthorn, who are successfully in the 8. 93.2 was never ever going to be enough to really challenge. And there you can see Brisbane now at 61.5, Essendon at 61.0, and the Bombers now firming as favourites to take the wooden spoon. Second quarter to get underway with Dwayne Russell.
Yeah, the Lions would need to be smashed in this for them to drop down. With a lot of game time left. They started brilliantly, but the Saints ran right over the top of them late in that opening term. Loney had a big piece of it, and they had a big piece of him. Zorko drives it long. Dempster should pounce. Got there, Robertson. Bell just over-committed to the tackle. Got around him too easy. And he finds on the wing. Nunes just backward of it as he backtracks. Told to get going. Robinson doesn't really come at him hard. Holmes from 4 deep. Martin held his spot, front spot. Rockcliffe. Dawson. Back to Rockcliffe. And just a chip pass to Walker. So onto the lead.
Really good kick to Walker. And Montaigne deep, one-on-one, that's where I'd be going.
Can kick a long ball, but again, as Jason Dunstall mentioned earlier, he should know, not just from his warm-up, but from his entire career, whether he can get this distance. Can he kick at 52? Struck it pretty well. Starts to sail. Falls a metre short.
Really good spoil from Holmes in the right position for the ruckman. Getting an opportunity with Tom Hickey out of the fold with the calf injury.
Rockcliffe starting the second quarter. As he finished in the first, he's up to 13 disposals. As Savage takes the kicking from Robertson.
He's accumulator, isn't he, Tom Rockcliffe?
Yeah, no doubt about that. To the half-back line where Daniel McKenzie's lurking. Gives it away now. Over the top goes Ross. Lions trying desperately to close this gap. Well, it goes up towards half-forward and Riewoldt. He looks towards Akers, but chipping in and taking the mark is Merritt, who didn't appreciate the close attention.
It wasn't a great kick from Nick on the knock and third. Well read from Daniel Merritt, though, playing his last game. He'll be a bit more relieved that Harris Andrews is on Riewoldt up the ground.
It was interesting listening to him talk with you before the game, how he said he has a strange feeling, didn't eat and was nervous. So all of a sudden it all comes to an end, doesn't it? Here's Weller.
He was pretty keen to kick a goal in his last game, though. He kicked one in his first game.
Yeah. Riewoldt, it sticks that time. And he can get onto the right boot, and he does. Big pack once again. Who's at the back? How easy is Jaron Geary going to do that? Geary gets his first, and the Saints first for the quarter.
Well, he was in the right spot at the right time, wasn't he? Have a look at the big talls, Bruce and Membry. Geary just on the left of screen. He just crumbed that beautifully, and that's a great example of just treading water. He didn't attack the contest. He just assessed what was going to do off the hands, and then he exploded when the ball was going to run free. And it's a rare goal from Jaron Geary. He's had a very consistent year as a small defender. That's a great goal.
Man likes it.
Smile from ear to ear, isn't it?
Kick 6 of the last 7 goals now, the Saints, and they're on fire. Handball out through some legs, and it might work. Stephen flicks it wide, and again they've got options aplenty. Nunes floats it. Ross, he should know if he can kick that range as well.
He's getting on top, Seb Ross.
And he knows he can't, so he floats it, sits it on Weller's head, and easily thumped across the line.
Well, he had to know that where Weller was leading, he had to kick over Daniel Rich, so the ball had to have elevation. So he should have put the ball left of right to Daniel Rich. So Mav Weller still would have got there. So he'll learn from that.
He just needed to weight it a little softer, and it would have dropped into the hole.
No doubt.
Robinson played for the free. Holmes almost. Riewoldt does. Flicks the handball up. Savage kept it alive. Gardner runs it across the line deliberately from 2 metres out, under very little pressure. And Mays, as he drives that one wide. Ugly ball. Geary almost had it. Hanley caught.
It's a good tackle.
Not having a good afternoon at the office, it must be said, Pierce Hanley.
He had options then. He had to use it early.
Geary sends it long. Riewoldt down there. Was he held, or did he do the holding? And we'll get a ball in.
It was a really good tackle.
Yeah,
you're right.
If Pierce Hanley gives the first option, they're away, the Lions. They had numbers running.
He's had a substandard year, Pierce Hanley, hasn't he? After a breakout year last year, he's just treaded water somewhat this year.
Jaron Geary going close to kicking back-to-back goals on that occasion. Loney towards Ross. Now Akers. It's a high ball, but it may stay in play. And, well, it slammed into the behind post. So out on the full.
Should Gardner have been penalised for walking it across the line?
Oh, he was only a metre out. I think there were players close enough to him.
Just walked across.
Yeah.
I'm a bit with you, Dwayne. I normally look after the defenders, but he sort of went across without a lot of pressure on him. I know there were St Kilda players around, but
next year,
yeah,
Mays.
It'll be interesting.
Dempster
what they
was
do
one
over the
flyer.
summer.
Fisher another flyer, couldn't take the mark. Rich just tries to head out the back door. That's going to be okay.
It's a beautiful kick.
Up towards Keys. He's only got to sit, and he's clear. Keys is clear now from 40. Stabbed the pass. That was disappointing. He wanted Bell. Instead he found Robert, and he could have gone for goal. Why didn't he?
Well, he should have, Sandy. I'm not sure what he was trying to do to hit a target under pressure. He just took 2 more steps and slotted for a goal.
Whatever the end product was, it was horrible.
Montagna with his 10th disposal. A turnover as Dempster now will head down towards Gilbert. He marks, so is that done on half forward. Gives it away to Bruce, who flicks it in towards Weller, but it's too wide. And Riewoldt, somewhat frustrated, throws his hands out and say, this is where you should have hit it, hit it. Mays. To a congested wing. Big pack of players. The Lions through Taylor go in towards the middle. Finds his man there in Dawson. He's got amongst the goals so far today. Walker to Keys, and he'll turn around and kick the goal. Now he'll go back. but he's in the square and should have no trouble kicking the Lions. First for the quarter and the fourth for the game.
Just a well-weighted kick.
Yeah, it was.
Josh Walker didn't panic. He just had to get it over top of the defender because he had Keys running back to the square. And the good thing about the kick was it was accurate. It landed in the goal square, so it takes him right in front. He doesn't have any angle to worry about.
Playing his 16th game for the year, Ben Keys, and his career, just the 3 goals. Now make that 4.
It's probably their best passage to play, Jose, wasn't it, for the quarter? Went, you know, the missed kick from Riewoldt down the other end. Really good, strong contest through the middle of the ground, and then had the run and carry. And was that handball kick out wide there? As you said, this kick here didn't have to break stride. Not a lot Montagna could do when you're playing that far in front.
And Keys makes up for it because he's able to kick this one with his left foot and not that little wobbly right that he tried before.
Of course, he has to come off because he kicked the goal. They picked 24 in last year's draft. Local Queensland product. Haven't had a NAB Rising Star nomination this year, the Brisbane Lions, and there's a chance that the AFL might name 2 or 3 NAB Rising Star nominations for this final round, because there's a few that have missed out that probably deserve it. A race away from Cutler. Gives it to Matheson, who's also a contender for a nomination. Geary should swallow this. Good spoil. Bell.
Oh, he's lucky.
Bad spoil. Free kick.
Well, he was lucky, Geary, in the end, because he tried to take the ball on his chest instead of out in front, but he got pushed in the back.
Riewoldt all the way down to the back pocket. Ran his customary 5K on the ground before the game even started. Sits this for Gilbert a little too lazily. Gardner. Hanley. Back against the grain. Cutler. St Kilda get numbers back, including Riewoldt in the hole. Zorko. And he just sizes up the options, and Stephen Martin hands it off back to Zorko. Kicks it long. Bell, goal line. Riewoldt lending not just a hand but a fist. Gets it through.
Well, they've got themselves in the contest, the Lions, haven't they? They've been pretty good since the start. The numbers reflect a pretty even contest. Just a little bit of finishing class. The odd bit of disposal lets them down.
Well, speaking of odd bit of disposal, that was extraordinary.
Rather strange, wasn't it?
Gee. So Merritt certainly appreciated. He was earmarked for that. Goes back towards Stephen Martin. He was overrun, couldn't take it cleanly. Now an opportunity for Wright to get clear, and he does. He can have a bounce. He's smack bang in the middle of Etihad. Goes over the top of Membry. If it sits, he could be in business. Membry paddles it cleverly to Robertson. Robertson's tucked in the pocket. Give it back to the man, and he does, and he kicks the goal.
Really good reward for Tim Membry. He did the selfless thing. He put his body between the ball and his opponent, and he knew he had Dylan Robertson, who had just come off the bench and streamed forward. You can see Wright just has to get over the top. Now Robertson comes from the left of screen. He's just come off the bench, and Membry knows he's there. So he shields the player, then he can peel off and get the reward for some really good selfless work in the build-up.
You have a look at the profile from Tim Membry, recruited from Sydney. Was on their list for 2 or 3 years. Elite in marks, contested marks, and 2.6 goals a game. So he's had a great year, hasn't he, for a guy that played his first 5 games in the VFL.
Stephen Martin unopposed in that ruck contest. Mays, or might be part of the plan. Hubbardage cuts it off. Ross.
Josh Bruce was the one going up against him there, Dwayne, and just didn't go for it.
He just pulled out, and Riewoldt takes the mark. 50 from goal, and he's within range. Big root.
Probably smart. You've seen the way Stephen Martin is jumping at the ball at the moment. You probably don't want to jump against him.
You don't see that very often, though. Ruckman just staying down and trying to rove to the other Ruckman's knock. But in the meantime, Riewoldt in his final game as captain plays on, of course, in 2017. There's his set shot history. This spot. And struck it a little skinny to the near side.
That's exactly where the set shot history suggested if he was going to miss, it was more on the left.
Robinson.
Did they touch it?
Did he touch it?
Just. Yeah, we've got a fingernail on it, I think.
Mitch, one of 4 Brisbane Lions players who've shared the best and fairest last year. The only one missing is Beams. Gilbert was third man up, but straight to Rich, who pushes again towards the boundary line. Trying to keep it in play was Bastanak. He was the target, and eventually he's forced over.
It's a sign of St Kilda's, one of their strengths, obviously their pressure, especially their forward line pressure. Keeping the ball in, getting repeat entries.
Martin up against Bruce, who's having a run. Robinson lurking. McKenzie there also. Gilbert round the body. Onto the left boot. Merritt trying to keep Riewoldt out of it. Lions had the numbers. Weller's got the football. He turns around and snaps wide into the pocket. Rich should get there, and he does.
Yeah, real good mark from Rich.
Goes across the ground somewhat dangerously. Taylor is there. Gets those little legs pumping. Kicks up towards the wing. Now they can open this up here. Now what's further downfield? There's only one. He's got to take the mark, and he cops a little ear massage for his trouble, but he has taken the mark. Now he's got Martin screaming for it down in the forward line. Elects to go short. Walker was a target. Eventually gets a kind bounce. Now runs into trouble. Walker will go again. The tackle is laid by Bell and Walker. Going to ground was White on debut.
See, one of the reasons why Brisbane's down near the foot of the table, can't you? They just miss too many targets when they have opportunities to hit teammates in space.
Again taken to the line by Keys.
But they are finding some good transition of the ball from the defensive 50 into the attacking 50, Brisbane. They've run and carried, moved it quickly at times.
I wonder what is going through Justin Lepich's mind at the moment. Will we see him as a senior coach?
Yeah, it's a good kick.
Walker, good kick, good pass.
That was
good
clever.
mark.
Yeah, it was.
Bastanak, a little bit of experience, didn't need to do anything fancy. Just poke a little kick forward to an experienced forward in Josh Walker, who was playing in front.
20 goals in 15 games this year for the former Cat. Slow, deliberate run up, and then from 42 metres, drop punt on its way, and looks good. Well done. Walker gets his first.
They just needed that goal, Brisbane, just keep them in this contest. They're, as you said, they've had enough of the ball, Jace. There's no doubting that. It's just their ball use and their finishing, but that was a lot better fish. As you said, there was nothing fancy about it, just shoulders out of the clearance. Dempster was caught behind and just lowered his eyes, and just a beautiful 20-metre pass to Walker, which is just about impossible to defend, those low searing passes into the forward 50.
Lions did steal a game here earlier this year, defeated Essendon, one of their 3 wins. Carlton at the Gabba and the Gold Coast at the Gabba. Their other 2 victories this year for the Lions as Holmes leaps high and again unopposed down to Stephen. Got some good hang time then, Holmes. Geary tried to flick a handball out to advantage. Lester cut it off, got it to Keys. Robinson almost. Clayton went back, mopped it up, got it out. Rockcliffe, he knew Rich was out there. Heads to half forward. Walker stands under it. Hipwood from 4 deep. Zorko, good crumb, flicked that up to Keys. Got some mojo back. No, they haven't. Cutler gave the ball back.
Yeah, there's those turnovers that are costly.
And Stephen runs the wing. Looks up. No one comes at him, so he keeps bouncing. Gets more protection. Weller in the pocket if he can hit him. Got up early and got it.
Gee, there was a clever mark. He he went up far too early.
And now he's got Akers in an acre. And he hits him. No, he doesn't.
What a spoil.
Spoil getting back Robinson. Akers dragged down by Bastanak. Gone. Amazing passage of play.
Now, people will sit there and say Mitch Robinson wasn't looking at the ball, and he wasn't. But he got all ball with the spoil. He just watched the hands of Blake Acres, the opponent that was going to mark it, went to where he thought the ball was going to go, and look how cleanly he catches the ball.
And he turned his body in mid-air, Jake.
Yeah.
That was the biggest key as well.
No, you're right. That is well called. That's a magnificent spoil there.
And never saw the ball at any stage.
You would think 99 times out of 100 would be a free kick on that.
Correct.
Well done, Mitch Robinson.
Montagna pops it over the top to Billings, who goes way too wide, out of bounds on the full. He's a great character, isn't he, Mitch Robinson? Started his career at Carlton. And it's just working out now that it is his kick. Down the line he goes towards Walker. Holmes with the left fist was a good spoiler. Walker was there, couldn't take it cleanly. Montagna, busy, Savage. Goes deep inboard. Dempster pops it over the top once again. They're going wide, but that's going to be okay. Billings gives it away to Robertson. Here's the lead from Riewoldt.
Oh, that's beautiful play from the wing. Dylan Robertson has had a very consistent year. He's the type of player that can play small or tall, but he's the guy that gets the style of play going for St Kilda. Just that running past the nose off Billings then looked up, saw the leading Riewoldt and just put it to space. It was really clean precision skill from St Kilda on that occasion.
And they met in round 9 in 2015. Riewoldt booted 4 goals in their win. He's kicked 1 today as once again the skipper steadies the ship.
That was St Kilda's best passage of play for the day. That is clinical at its best from the clearance from Savage. Got the handle out wide to Dempster. Dempster to Billings on the run there from Robertson. Past the nose, and then the leading Riewoldt. There's nothing you could do that as a defender there. Hammelman on that occasion. That was just clinical at its absolute best. A bit too easy from Justin Leppich's point of view, but Alan Richardson would be wrapped with that passage of play.
You mentioned that battle in the first half of last year. It's been over a year since these two teams met. This their first, only, and obviously last meeting for this year. Akers goes back. McKenzie feeds it wide. White's looked good in his first game. Back to Akers and Membry. Riewoldt leads. Tried the shake and bake lead, but Merritt are right with him. The third lead, Bruce thumped clear. Lester, Bastanak didn't really look, just kicked it, and Akers pulls it down.
Yeah, another player that's had a fairly consistent year.
Fisher, Robertson. Want to reload to the open side, and Riewoldt worked really hard to get there as well. He was leading and double leading on the other side moments ago. Got Holmes running out of the square. Ignored that, went wider. Weller.
Tom, out please, Tom. Just back a minute, thanks. Sorry, other Tom. July, Max here.
And he likes his chances. No, central kick. He pulled it. Membry almost bumped on that mark attempt. Umpire let it go. Cut them some slack. Mays thumps it. Should be Fisher's ball. Tough one. Back into the lineup this week. Might still be his last game of his career, but his body on the line there says he wants to play next year. And Riewoldt takes the mark. 48 out.
Oh, really well done.
He lost Daniel Merritt in that little patch there, Riewoldt. He's just working too hard, Spud.
Yeah, and all the St Kilda players went to Sam Fisher. It was good courage from both players, actually. I think it was Dawson for the Brisbane Lions. But again, Robertson to Riewoldt. The last 2 shots at goal from Dylan Robertson, just clinical again in his ball use.
I think Merritt would be thinking, couldn't you give me an easier task in the last game?
And he's had a sighter from this spot and drills it. 2 in a row.
Yeah, Riewoldt getting over to the other veteran in Sam Fisher, who really did come off his man to get a really good courageous mark from Sam Fisher. As you said, Dan Merritt, you can see Fisher and Josh Clayton. Good courage from both lads. Fisher just aware that Robertson was on the move again, and he lowered his eyes to the leading Nick Riewoldt. There's not a lot of defence can do with that ball use on that occasion.
The Saints at the moment able to answer any challenge that the Lions might throw at them as we head towards half-time. Holmes and Martin. Indecisive. Mitch Robertson taken high. And he's got the free kick in opposition to Seb Ross. Gave it to Bastanak, who's working hard. Mays over the top. The hand pass was high for Rockcliffe and made it difficult for him, and he's going to be pinged. So Armitage plays on now, and it's Montagna. That's a poor kick. Robertson intercepts. Straight down the middle, and Armitage a diving lunge, but he was unable to get fingertips to it, and now the Lions have got a chance to go further forward. Rockcliffe, short little stab pass to Martin, and he marks just outside 50.
He's a player they've got to use more, Stephen Martin.
Gives it off to Rockcliffe. In towards the pocket he goes. Big fly, no one able to complete it. Bell was the target. Robertson could have been held. He was, and he's got a free kick.
I reckon Stephen Martin playing on a ruckman in Jason Holmes that hasn't had a lot of experience. He should be able to rack up numbers and take him on a bit of a ride.
Brandon White copped a nasty one, and he's up, but he's not too well at the moment. We'll keep an eye on him. Could have been a shoulder. Still receiving some attention. Hanley in with strength. Well done by Wright to Geary. And that's wide, too wide, out on the full. There's the young man. Third debutant for the year for the Saints, behind Gresham and Pearce.
Well, that's where he hurt his right arm there, Brandon White. Attempted to spoil on the body, come past his forearm. Gee,
what was that?
It was a grubber.
What was that? I'm going to show you that again. That was a bizarre piece of work. Bell over the back, drills it.
Yeah. To say that was against the flow would be an understatement, because Weller had the ball, and I think he just hit the ground, Mav Weller.
A whole host of things wrong over there. There was an exchange between the umpire and the boundary umpire over there out in the field, out in the full free kick that must have clipped a Brisbane foot. And then they got the advantage of the course in Kilda and stubbed his toe when kicking it. Have a look at this. Replace the divot.
Replace all divots. Needs his sand bucket there. But again, bad defence. Robertson deflecting to mark, and
Lions get their third for the quarter.
Yeah, Mav Weller won't want to see that little foot pass again. With a sore toe.
Martin and Holmes, neither decisive. But it's Martin who picked it up and showed the initiative to get it out of the middle. They tumble it down towards the half-forward line. Clean bowls a few. Robertson will get back on it now. He's got a bit of time. Decides to head wide over the head of Savage. That's okay, because he's got his teammate there in Nunes. Jack Nunes to Gilbert. Takes it on the chest. Savage draws a player. Akers. Riewoldt.
He's leading well now, Nick Riewoldt.
Yep. Too far out to score. He'll target Membry. Ross is there as well. He'll need to swing round onto that left. He does now. Short. Montaigne's got to stand his ground. He did as the galloping hordes came up him. Lewis Taylor does a 360. First one way, then the other. Up towards centre wing. Chopped off, however, by Mackenzie. Gives it off to Akers. Akers wastes no time. Deep in towards the forward line. Whoa! Big fly by Josh Bruce. And he's going to go back and kick the goal from 25 out.
Beautifully called, Sandy. Good long kick to a dangerous spot from Akers. Nothing special about it, but just put it into a spot to allow Josh Bruce to run and jump and take the ball at its highest point. That was a terrific mark.
And it comes from another Brisbane turnover. Lewis Taylor had time, he had options, and he turns it over, and Josh Bruce does not miss from this point on any ground.
Just a matter of how accurate it is.
Does not miss.
No, he doesn't miss.
Directly in front. And as you said, Jason, and Spud does not miss. He's got his second.
Yeah, well, that's their 10th mark inside the forward 50, Jace, for the half. So the league average is 12, so they're well on target again. But Brisbane actually had the ball, and it's been the scores from turnovers that really hurt. And as it was, Mackenzie just got an easy mark straight to Akers, get the ball to a real dangerous spot from Bruce. Really good mark from Josh Bruce. Yeah, well, there's all the marks, the 10 marks inside the forward 50.
A lot of them in the corridor, in and around the corridor. Yeah.
And that's why you've got 10 goals, 7.
Holmes up early, got the palm down to Gilbert. They didn't get the clearance. Well, they might still get the clearance. Yeah. Membry breaks free, in some space, over the back. Riewoldt.
Make that the 11th mark.
That's it. Look, it's terrific, quick movement from St.Kilda. He's going to go out on the left foot here and just hook it around the corner.
Yeah, and this is the new 10-metre rule, so he's allowed to run around an extra couple of metres here. Just think his way through it.
This is for 3 for the quarter for Riewoldt. He's giving Paul Rog Merritt a final game to remember.
Mind you, if I was Merritt, I'd be a little upset with the midfield. I mean, Rockcliffe wins the ball in the middle, goes to hand pass to Hanley. I mean, they're two of their most experienced players in the team. So the ball ultimately comes out. Tommy Rockcliffe picks it up. He's looking for Pierce Hanley, and between the two of them, they mess it up, and there's the punishment. That's the flip side of it. You make one mistake like that in the middle of the ground, you leave your defence open.
6 goals to 3 in this second quarter in favour of the Saints.
Yeah, well, it's been the ability of St Kilda to really put pressure on the Brisbane Lions when they do get the ball. And have a look at the score sources here. 8 goals, 6 out of their 11-7 from turnovers. So that's when Brisbane had the ball. So it's a smacky in that area.
Here they go again. Here they go again.
Gee, Riewoldt's
Holmes to Stevens to Riewoldt. Riewoldt into the pocket to the boundary umpire. Out on the full.
Yeah, well, Riewoldt's had 10 marks this quarter.
I think Daniel Merritt's nearly got to reassess his positioning and perhaps play 5 metres in front.
Well, he's got to, Jason.
Because Riewoldt's getting all his ball on the lead.
Well, he's taken 10 marks and they're all uncontested.
Yeah,
so
well, maybe Justin Lepage has to reassess Daniel Merritt's positioning.
Or maybe put someone in front of Riewoldt as well, because he's the money man at the moment, Nick Riewoldt.
Robertson de Geary, who tidies up. Speaking of the money man, here he is.
That's 11 for the quarter, Sandy. 11 marks.
Riewoldt on centre wing. Down the line he goes. Membry's the target. Just dropped the eyes for a moment. Couldn't complete the mark. Rockcliffe, possession number 21. That's extraordinary. Across the ground goes Cutler. Dangerous. But they're going to get away with it. Now, the trouble is, what's up forward? Well, Hanley is a target and he's got him. Still a long way from home. He thought about Hipwood. Now goes to Walker. Oh, smashed into his face, I reckon.
Yep.
Gee, it was a good spoil from Sam Fisher.
It got washed into his face, Sam.
Yeah,
Spot on. Right in the eye.
He had the jump, Josh Roy. If he had his time again, he could have taken the run of Sam Fisher, but it was really good defence in the end. Have a look. Oh, yes, a falcon.
Straight in the right eye. That's painful.
There's Brandon White after that spoiling attempt with his right arm in the hands of the trainers. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, first gamer. Good mark to Savage. He's got his parents here and his whole family here as well. Brandon White for this opening game of his career. Off hands, Cutler. He's recovered. Walker got the handball up. Hipwood bumped. High kick. Not bad. Just offline with 11 seconds left, and that would have been a huge boost heading into half-time.
Dempster. Unsure as to where to go. The umpire says, come on, get on with it. So he does to himself. A little untidily, but gets away with it. Membry won't fly. Martin recovers well for the Lions. To the top of the square he goes. Siren beats them all. So half-time, and the Saints, due largely to Nick Riewoldt in that second term, certainly getting on top. Riewoldt booted 3 goals in that quarter, and the Saints have moved on to 11-7-73, leading the Lions 6-8-44. Other contributors, Jack Loney kicked a couple in the first term. Bruce got 1 in the first, also 1 in the second, and then Geary chimed in for 1 in the second quarter. Nunes kicked 1 early on in the game, so too did Nathan Wright. Bit of a different story for Brisbane as we go down to the ground now, and here's Cameron Mooney. Moons.
Thanks, Sandy. Tommy, we're just saying then, what do you think so far?
Yeah, we're not too bad. We're just got to take our chances when we go forward. We've turned a couple over, and then they've hurt us the other way. So we're hurting our defence at the moment by turning over in that midfield, but if we can correct that, we're getting opportunities down forward.
What about someone, we talk about Nick Riewoldt, he's just taken 11 marks for the quarter. A lot of those uncontested on the lead on the back of those turnovers. Is it time to maybe put someone in front of him, or is it more about fixing up what's going around the ball?
It's got to be fixed up around the ball. You can't expect the defenders to beat Riewoldt on the lead if we're turning over in the middle. So it's important that we don't turn over as a midfield group and give our forwards opportunities. But we obviously know Nick's a superstar, and we've got to look after our defence a lot better than that.
Thanks a lot, Tommy. Good luck, mate.
Yeah, he's had a big half, has Tom Rockcliffe, 21 disposals. But going at about 67% efficiency.
A little bit of smell of finals in the air here in Melbourne, which is exciting. A couple of weeks away, week 1 of the finals. Not for these two, of course. This is their final game of 2016 And right now it's a 29-point margin in favour of the Saints as we head downstairs to Cameron Mooney.
Yeah, thanks, Dwayne. Look, we spoke a lot about Tommy Rockcliffe at the start of the game, and there's been a lot of talk about him over the last few weeks. Does he stay or does he go at the Brisbane Lions? We just have a look at him here today. He's had the 21 possessions up to half-time. Does what Tommy does. He gets a lot of the ball. We know that he's averaging 29 for the season. It's only 4 behind his absolute career best of 33 a couple of years ago. So we know he finds the ball, but this is where he finds it. Around the middle, down in the back half. And look, saying that's where a lot of the Brisbane ball is, unfortunately, because they aren't a great side right now. So he has to go down there and get it. But I'd throw this one to you, Chief. You're up there. Where does Tommy Rockcliffe play his best football, and what does he do? Does he stay at Brisbane Lions? Does he be the captain next year, or does he look elsewhere?
It's a difficult question, Moons, isn't it? I mean, we know that clubs and players alike face tough questions and decisions over their futures and where they want to play. And then the difficulty becomes, if you're a captain, I think it's even harder to make that decision to cut ties with the club, because you're so invested in the decision-making processes, in the direction of the club, in trying to build a culture of the playing group. It can make it very, very tough, and very few captains end up leaving.
Yeah, I know that, Jace, but sometimes a change is good as a holiday too. I'm not sure whether it'll be his choice either, by the way, and it won't be probably... It depends on who's coach as well. We hope Justin Leppich is there, but if he's not, Tom Rockcliffe might find himself in different colours as well next year. Who knows?
To get the second half underway, here's Sandy Roberts.
13 points, Dwayne, was the margin at quarter time. It's now out to 29. Let's see what the Lions can produce. They've got one half of football in the season remaining. Martin wins the toss. We heard from Rockcliffe. Jack Stevens getting a free kick, as you can hear. Holding. Gives it away to Montagno. Penetrating kick towards Riewoldt. Front spot. Couldn't complete the mark. Could have almost been taken high. The umpire said no. Wright tries to get it out. Did get a kick of sorts going towards the boundary line and beating players over. A big second quarter for Nick Riewoldt. He booted 3 goals.
Hamilman's gone to him to start this third quarter.
Let's hope he plays in front.
So Daniel Merritt perhaps had a bit of a word and said, look, it's my 200th. It's my final game. Give me a break.
Well, he has. He's having a break forward.
Well, he might get that goal.
Yeah.
As Dwayne said, he kicked a goal in his first game.
His first game.
Might just do it again in his last.
And we've seen him play forward with success at times, not perhaps on a consistent basis, but I know he's kicked a couple of bags of 5, and he'd love to cap things off with a couple of goals today, wouldn't he?
There's Brandon White with his right elbow heavily bandaged after that incident in the second quarter.
Disappointing for the debutant. Weller through, but without the footy. Armitage under the pump. Mays had him. Stevens, nice little hand pass. Flicked in towards goal and across the face for one behind.
Thanks, Maverick.
Just on Merritt, guys, it was 2012 where he kicked 26 goals for the year, and 2013 and 14 he kicked 14 and 12 goals respectively. So he can kick goals, no doubt about it.
Thank you, Moons. Cutler brings it back into play, and Bell is at the back. Read it better than anyone.
Little nudge out that worked for him.
Like more than a little nudge. He gave a good old shove to Sammy Fisher.
Clayton in game 2 goes back. So they have got some young players out there. Justin Leppich playing a younger team, trying to get some games into some youth, which is good to see. Sits this on Merritt, who comes up to the wing. He's hurt himself. Look behind. Hipwood, Merritt, Bell, push off, and a second. Nothing to go to. Blasts away. Keys in a 1-on-2. So it bounces. Nunes, Keys held off the ball. Good shepherd by Geary. Gave him plenty of space, and he bangs it back long. McKenzie. So a couple of handball options. Bruce is calling for a forward. They need to get it to him, though. Montagna, he goes central instead. Delightful kick to right.
No, you're right, Dwayne. Bruce was always on, but then when they got forward of the centre, it was great play from Wright to be able to then become an option. So they knew he had the long option down the line to Bruce, and then Wright just coming into the right of his vision. Great kick from Montagna.
Kick one in the opening term. This to stretch the margin out to 36. And we'll keep an eye on that percentage. They need to at least double the Lions' score at the end of this to do some more damage to that percentage. He drills it. That was never in doubt either.
Now, it's a pretty good story, Nathan Wright. Played down back for 2 or 3 years, and now he's made his name as a half forward that puts pressure on. You can see Bruce, he was on, but the extra handball there from Ross and Joe Montagna could have went long down the line to Bruce, but just lowered his vision a little bit and had a look at Nathan Wright just out the corner of his right eye and just sides it up beautifully. Nothing any defence can do with that kick, and as we said, Nathan Wright, a beautiful finish for his second goal.
And there is the live ladder. So the Brisbane Lions percentage was 61.5. It's dropped to 61.3. So they're close to doubling their score at the moment. The Saints 80-44. Wooden spoon definitely in play in the second half here.
Well, it depends whether St Kilda can keep them off the scorebook. That's what will really make their defence lower than Essendon's.
Taylor working hard. Well, point 2 has been wiped off already. Point 3 to go. And we know that Brisbane have tired during games. Taylor short again. So the Saints might be with an opportunity of really getting onto the board, and things like that will help them. Well, I might make them pay. He goes long, but he's away to the left. Wide, very wide and out of bounds.
Well, if they keep turning the ball over like that, Brisbane, it'll be every chance.
And that's Pierce Hanley.
Yeah.
I mean, we've spoken about Pierce a little bit. He's one of the more highly rated players at the Brisbane Lions, and that is no pressure whatsoever. A little chip kick straight to the opposition. Can't coach for that.
No, you can't.
Deep into the Saints attacking zone. Martin looking to try and hold front spot against Holmes. Rockcliffe gets the hand pass away. Possession number 22 goes up towards the half back line. Armitage, hand pass goes to Hipwood. That wasn't what he had in mind. Rockcliffe again, a hurried ball. It's high, back towards centre wing. Big pack of players. A lot of pushing and shoving going on there. Merritt was involved, Dempster was involved, McKenzie was involved. Clayton as well.
Yeah, Josh Clayton there, as we talked about, son of Scotty Clayton.
Yep.
He was a former Fitzroy Best and Fairest winner, actually, his father. Now the Gold Coast Suns list manager.
Holmes won the tap, but it's Robinson who gets the kick. Down towards Merritt. Dempster's got him. Now Merritt's laying on top of him. Ball does come out. Can Jack Stephen do something? Tries to tunnel ball it to Ross. Back to Armitage. Back to Ross. A hurried high ball up towards centre wing and hammered over defensively for a throw in. Jack Loney having no chance against the taller Tommy Cutler.
Holmes and Martin, as it has been for most of the afternoon, they wrestle. Martin clever, just out of Zorko's reach, and they'll have to do it again. Holmes, of course, born in Chicago. Brother is a wide receiver with the Oakland Raiders. So good sporting heritage in their family. And he jostles with Martin for front spot. Martin gets to the front. Holmes won up, but down to Hanley. And he drives it in Merritt's direction. He's up. Crunched, no free. He hit the deck hard as well.
Yeah, Savage was in front of, copped the knee from Merritt.
He did what was asked of him, Daniel Merritt. He was 1 against 2. He crashed him and he brought the ball to the ground, but there was nobody there to have an impact at ground level.
I think Savage is in a little bit of trouble too, guys.
I was going to say, and he took someone out too, Chief. Yeah, Savage is going to come off with a big corked hip, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's a corked hip, Moons. Yeah,
just
the hands of the trainers now.
Yeah, that's a hobble off, and they've already got the first game of White sitting on the bench.
Oh, yeah,
the problem.
The left knee of Sauce into Savage's hip.
So 50 here.
They really do hurt.
Yeah, this is against Membry. Abuse. You can hear the umpire very clearly. We can't have that happening at any stage.
Brandon White back on for the Saints, so it's good news for the first gamer, with Savage coming off with that hip.
So play on now, and the Lions go towards Merritt again. A little too far back for the fly. Brandon White getting the hand pass out towards Fisher. White, in fact, directing traffic as they go wide to the outer side. Hamilman was there, couldn't take it cleanly. Taylor again with Dash. Returns it. Opportunity now for Bastanak. Goes a little wider, but that's okay. Inside 50 once more. Where's Merritt? He goes up and he takes the mark.
Oh, good grab,
Well done, Sauce, in his 200th and last game.
Yeah, let me tell you, Sam Fisher having a chat with Jaron Geary.
No doubt.
He said, any danger of not letting the bloke have a run and jump straight in my back.
And Geary, you watch Geary after Merritt marks the ball, he puts his hands straight to his face and says, me, oh my.
So Merritt to shoot for goal. For the first goal of the season, because he spent the year at the other end of the ground. He kicks the goal, and they come from everywhere.
It was great. He kicked the goal with his first game. Every Brisbane player.
Every single one.
Yeah, except the players on the bench, of course, and they would if they were allowed, but get over to Merritt. Hopefully that just stings them into a little bit of positive play, and it was good coaching from Leppich to put Merritt. So you see here, Geary should have went up, and he didn't. And you see Geary there, he just puts his hands...
Look at Fisher
turns around. Here's his first goal in round 2, 2005.
His first game for the club.
Bit more hair.
Yep.
And here he is now, kicking one in his last game. So great story. 200 games. He gives the supporters a clap.
Yeah, plenty of family and friends here. They've got a busload here. Story goes that he nearly didn't reach his 200th game. His 2-year-old daughter Matilda might have brought something home from daycare, and she had to be quarantined.
Yeah, well, he was a little bit ill this morning. He told me, Dwayne, in the pre-game interview, that he didn't eat his breakfast and lunch this morning.
Yep, so she did run through the... Well, she didn't run through. She was carried through the banner with him pre-game, so quarantined until the banner was due to be broken.
And obviously, he got a little bit sicker when he played on Nick Riewoldt in the second quarter with 11 marks on him.
Matheson out to Rockcliffe. They're back in the game at the moment, the Lions, because Merritt's given them a target. When he's not marking it, he's causing the spill or the tackle. Fisher just got away from him, but he has, with that pressure, stopped it from leaving the area.
Guys saying Savage just doing some run-throughs down here, still in the hands of the doctors, still does not look comfortable at all.
Just trying to loosen that hip up.
Back into play. Martin jumps down. Hanley had a piece of it, knocked out. Gilbert. Nunes running the wing, couldn't get away with it, Billings initially. Now the kick long, and Membry. Nice float in from the side. He read it to perfection, and he chips the kick to Weller, cut off by Taylor.
Well,
and the Brisbane Lions are away, had nothing to go to. Rich, well, Taylor runs for the 1-2. He shorts to Bell, who came all the way down from full forward.
Bell quickly on. That's going to be all right, finding Clayton. He goes down the line. Walker is a target.
Holding Brisbane.
And may get a free kick. In fact, he's going to.
It was against Brandon White.
Yeah. Gives it off to Rockcliffe.
Good running from Bell.
Another possession.
Bell was the guy on the halfback flank that got the preceding kick to the wing.
We'll put them inside 50 with a spearing pass. Gee, that went like a bullet.
Yeah, and that's Stephen Martin and Jace. That's exactly what you were talking about in the second quarter. We see Holmes coming off the ground. Stephen Martin has to get forward more on Jason Holmes, because he's aware that Jason Holmes probably is pretty okay in the ruck, but around the ground he's been able to get off him. So a lot better movement from Steph Martin.
One of the quartet, who's the best and fairest last year. Not a renowned goal kicker.
Oh.
Just 5 for the year. Interesting run up.
Look at that.
A lot of stammer.
Seriously.
That was awful. Merritt couldn't complete the mark in the pocket. An opportunity now for Nunes. Goes wide to the outer side, and good mark over the top, and it's going to give Bastanak the opportunity of firing it into attack once more. No mark taken. Pressure on the defence. Dempster's hand pass wide. Wright was there also. Ross takes the mark in front of Rich. Swings onto the left boot. Armitage. Here they go. Dylan Robertson loves to have a run. Jackie Stephen is down there on his own. He's got it. He thought about scooting away, but he'll go back now. And he should kick the goal from 25 out directly in front.
That was great gut running from Stephen. One of the rare occasions he hasn't had Mitch Robertson as a backpack on him, and he just relished the opportunity to get forward. With Mitch Robertson caught in the play on that occasion. Good ball movement again. Great use from Robertson again.
Jack, one of 8 Saints to have played every game this year. And he's kicked his first goal for the day. And once again, the Saints are able to answer.
Yeah, he's had a great year, Jack Stephen. He's won 2 St.Kilda Best and Fairest already, probably in line for number 3. And again, really good ball movement. You'll see Seb Ross gets the ball in the middle of the ground. Dylan Robertson, he's had a day out past the nose, and his ball use inside forward 50's been elite today, Dylan Robertson. He's had the 3 inside 50s, and they're all been goals. So, been a good half back, and of course, Stephen having another great game.
It's amazing what a bit of skill difference can do in this game. We saw Stephen Martin with a shot from 50, didn't carry the distance, didn't have the accuracy. Ball went straight down the other end. It's like a 2-goal turnaround.
And he rips it out of the ruck. Steph Martin pumps it. Walker floated in.
It's a courageous mark because that was a big pack. And he just came from the side into the middle of it, went straight up. Good hands.
Brought in to add some experience to the forward line. Hasn't been selected every week by Justin Lepage.
7 possessions today. He has 1 goal. Needs to reward himself with another straight kick here.
Struck it across the face. And they've been their own worst enemy at times today, the Lions players.
Yeah, their ball use and their decision-making at times.
Good
Savage
to see.
back on.
Yeah, good to see, isn't it? He's obviously okay, going short to Dempster. And Dempster wants to switch. He could go to Akers. Well, no, he goes short to Armitage somewhat dangerously because Rich was wide on his hammer. Now he comes wide to Akers. He was out there all alone. He's got a bit of time and space. Looks up towards Membry, who takes the mark just forward of the wing. Riewoldt wants it. He's scouting back now, but he elects to go inboard.
Yeah, that's a good
lead was on, and that was an excellent kick because Taylor was lurking. But Jack Loney, who's kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, has an opportunity now.
That's 50.
Plays on, and there's a 50.
Yeah, against Zorko.
Has he played on?
Well, the umpire didn't say.
Didn't call play on.
Didn't call play on one.
Zorko is arguing that he was next to Blake Akers.
He is mystified.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but it makes for a certain goal here for the Saints.
Well, he's got to kick his 3rd goal.
And he does. All at that end of the ground, Jack Loney. 3 goals to him.
Well, it was a really good kick from Membry, wasn't it? Really good kick to space to Jack Loney. We'll just have a look after he marked the ball. The Hoog marks, and Taylor mans the mark. And Zorko just comes to the right of screen there. Oh.
Yeah, Blake Akers had walked away.
Walked away.
He was clever, Blake
Yeah,
Akers.
it was really good play by Blake Akers. Clever.
So 41 points to margin. It's the biggest margin of the game so far. And again, the wooden spoon is back in play here. Brisbane v Essendon for that. Ross gets the clearance. Rich cuts it off.
Oops.
Cutler missed his target. Billings, although he had his legs taken, free kick Billings, it'll come back.
Again, just a handball that gone to grass. Look, simple fundamentals from Brisbane are just, they're just butchering the ball when they've got their hands on it.
Just a fumble.
Stephen looks up. He misses his target. Nunes slung. Jack Stephen bangs it back towards goal. Oh, it'd be a miracle. And getting back, Harris Andrews, last line of defence, saved the day. Straight down the middle, nearly turned it over. Zorko, he spears it. He can't hit a target. Basketballed away by Fisher. He can't hit a target. Stephen Martin, back to Rich. Short to Robinson.
He plays on to Rockcliffe.
Now Merritt's back deep as well, wants the ball.
Possession number 27, off to Zorko. Spears the pass for Walker, again ill-directed, and again The turnover occurs as Armitage gives it to Stephen. It's not the prettiest 5 minutes we're seeing here at the moment. He goes in towards the middle. Seb Ross is there. Gives the hand pass away to Savage. Another one now. They're almost inside 50 to Riewoldt. Not 15. Riewoldt's got a swing round on the left. He wanted Bruce. Didn't find him, however. Mays has an opportunity for the Lions. Gets it across to Martin, who finds Rich. Rich is in all sorts of trouble. Do something. And eventually they do towards Walker. Can he take the mark? Yes, he can.
See, we are seeing elementary errors from experienced players. We spoke about Pierce Hanley before. That time it was Dane Zorko going forward. They're the two best kicks in the Brisbane team. If they're not hitting targets, what hope have they got?
Walker to Hipwood. Into the middle to Robinson to Zorko. Gets away from Ross. Kicks towards Hanley, who takes the mark in front of Steve.
Well, they've got Merritt on McKenzie at the moment, deep.
He's ignored.
50 against
50
Savage.
metres, Savage, running past.
Yeah, tell you what, there'll be a lot of coaches, especially in the final 8, just going over this rule in the finals.
Saying, make sure you know it exactly to the left.
Yeah, if I was a coach coaching the final 8, you would be showing 3 or 4 areas over the weekend. There was one on Friday night. Rory Laird ran through and really put Adelaide out of the game. The last thing we want to see in a final, we know the rule, it's a 10-metre protected area. And I think, you know, the exuberance of a big final, you don't want to be losing a final late in the game with something like that.
The St.Kilda blood rule while that was happening.
Because what happens in that area when someone marks the ball, it is in the past just a time to relax mentally. And we've just seen 2 goals, one to St Kilda and now one to the Brisbane Lions, where both players, one was Zorko and the other one was Shane Savage. So just here, he's marked the ball, Jack Stephen is on the ball. Savage is just in fairyland at the moment. He doesn't know what's going on and he just ran straight past the mark. So give a certain shot at goal.
Hanley gets his first. The Lions get their 8th. Nice to see a perfect bounce, and Holmes wins it. Akers runs onto it and he gets clear. He's got Stephen running with him, but he does it on his own. Up towards Weller, and Riewoldt at the back. He plays on and kicks the goal. You can't answer a goal any quicker than that. He now has 4.
Well, not sure what the quickest goal in VFL, AFL history is, but that's got to be right up there, Sandy.
Yep.
This is from a quick clearance in the centre. Beautiful tap from Holmes. Akers runs onto the ball going forward. He kicks long. Gee, if there's a quicker goal, I want to know where it is. That's about 8.5 seconds, 9 seconds, that goal. That is a beautiful passage of play. Centre clearance at its best.
Holmes has been good in the ruck with his tap work. He hasn't amassed a massive amount of possessions around the ground, just the 2. But he's getting his hands on the ball in the middle. Gilbert scrambles it forward. And good mark taken in defence.
No, he has, Dwayne. Holmes has had 23 hit-outs, Martin 22.
So it's been a good battle around the ground.
Yeah.
Ball hits the deck. Akers bumped off it. Clayton, good attack. Gave it to Zorko. It's got Robinson short. Goes long. Goal square. Matheson down there. And he was tangled up by the experienced Dempster. He just knuckled it through for a behind.
Found it hard to get involved, Reece Matheson. Just the 6 possessions. We're used to seeing him being a pretty busy player.
Especially inside.
Yeah, and I don't think that's his go, getting the long kicks forward to a one-on-one contest.
Geary shook a few off, went back to Stephen. Few showing their displeasure.
Not happy with the
delivery or the umpiring?
I think it was the quick ball movement.
Okay. Newns thought about going short to Fisher.
Lucky he changed his mind.
It's almost the rope-a-dope by the Brisbane Lions players standing off Fisher.
Bell was ready to intercept.
Crash of the pack. Riewoldt front and square. That's a kick. Good attack from Leicester. Got it to Walker. Matheson, or maybe floating in for the mark as he's going.
Yeah, that's a beautiful grab. Newns was nearly in the plum spot there, but Newns was probably, the kick was directed more at Newns, and Matheson was able to come in off the side and take a really good contested mark. He's got some talent, there's no doubting that.
Two-time under-18 All-Australian as an underage player in his first year there. He was a pick 39. See if he goes with a shotgun after this one. No, won't go with a shotgun after a behind.
He had something
just
ready
the post.
Ready to go. If he did, it was a gold one. He had something ready to go.
Be disappointed if he didn't.
Roberton spears it. He was looking, I think, for Armitage. Went past him and Jack Stephen. Now Martin gives it to Richu from 50 metres. Goes bang with a bomb, but he's got the goal.
That's a really good finish from Daniel Rich. Dylan Roberton, we've talked about his ball use all day. That wasn't his best. He missed the target in Armitage. Just went over his head, and Walker give it to Daniel Rich, and Daniel Rich gets a handball receive from that area of the ground. It's normally a score, and on that occasion it was straight over the goal umpire's hat. He's probably one of the better kicks in the game off one step, Daniel Rich, with that damaging left foot.
Didn't even need to kick through it. It was like a little chip kick.
Yeah, it was like a 7-iron, wasn't it?
It sailed so easily, 55 metres.
Well, he's had 17 disposals going 100%. So, and unfortunately, some of his teammates by foot haven't been the same, but we know he's a beautiful finisher, Daniel Rich.
Interestingly, both sides have 8 goal kickers. Martin's kick is high, courage required here, and it's shown by Billings. Going backwards, takes the mark. It's called to go. The left footer goes wide. Good solid knockdown, finds Merritt doing the roving work on that occasion. Lions having the opportunity to go inboard to Keys. He's got it now, but he's also claimed at the same time. McKenzie chips in for the Saints, and they're able to maintain possession and go backwards and start to load up again. Fisher and co. across half back. Eventually he just goes short to Armitage in his 150th. Short again to Stephen. He's picked up 22 disposals for the day. Seb Ross is heading towards 20s on 19. Fisher again. To Armitage again. So they're sharing it around disposal-wise. Montagna a target.
1 metre. Thank you.
Goes longer now. In towards the middle. Membry. Drops the diving mark. Taylor couldn't take it. Membry goes again. Taylor goes again. Membry's got him. Out the back door, an opportunity then for Gardner. Now wider still. Finding Bell. Tom Bell just forward of the wing. Plays on now, gives it to Rockcliffe, who picks up yet another possession as he heads for a spell on the bench.
Yeah, it's bruised for your footy at the moment.
Yeah,
it's not a lot of movement. Roper-dope this quarter. St Kilda 4 goals 1. Brisbane 3 goals 3.
Hipwood short to Mays. Mays goes long towards Merritt again. He was kept out of business there. Fisher had it, but only for a moment. Now he gets another opportunity with the hand pass to Geary. Geary
tried to claim
it. Keys hand pass okay. Hurried snap is wide and anything but pretty out of bounds on the full.
Mitch Robertson, look, it was a good smother, you'd call it in the end, because Geary just kicked it straight into his midriff. It's gone, what, 6 metres? He tried to claim the mark.
One thing they've lacked today, Brisbane, is a presence at ground level when the ball hits the deck in the forward 50. No crumbing presence at all.
Akers inside to Gilbert. And that's 50. Keys went in too close.
And from behind.
Well, and that's really good play from Roberton, because you want run from half back, and I think, again, as I said, I don't want to stress it, but I think all finals top-bound coaches will be having a look at this and just reassessing with their players in the week of the bye.
That's another 50.
Because he wasn't close enough to his man. You have to be within 3 metres. He was 7 metres away, and that's too far away. You have to chase harder than that.
And it just goes to show you this quarter, they've just checked out a few of the players, haven't they?
The other thing is, Bud, as players get tired, their attention to detail and their ability to think about the rules disappears.
And it's the attention to detail that sorts the wheat out from the chaff, the better sides from the also rents.
Just to explain that, you can't just point to a guy and manning him. You actually have to be alongside him, and Gilbert makes them pay.
Yes,
I think you need to be within 2 metres, don't you, of the free opponent?
I think they give you about 4 or 5.
4 or 5, they do, they do. So, yeah, it's just, you know, you just can't switch off. When someone's marked, here's the first one. So, Gilbert's marked the ball 35 metres out from Brisbane's goal.
Yeah, Robinson ran one side and Keys went the other side and came from behind through the mark.
And to get a back-to-back one, that is just totally inexcusable. I'm sorry, you just can't give two in a row like that. The Brisbane players at three-quarter time need to get the water and just wake up a bit. It's just unacceptable.
So Sam Gilbert becomes the 9th goal scorer for the Saints. Martin gets a favourable bounce in the middle. Gilbert almost threw that out to Armitage, who couldn't get away with it cleanly. Spills free now to Taylor, who gives it off to Bell. Back to Taylor again, who's claimed. Again, a ripping tackle. Membry's a long way from home, but he gets it across to Akers. Look away, hand pass. He feigns it. Then he tries to run through the middle, and he's still going. He had a bounce. He's gone a long way. He's put him inside 50 to Riewoldt.
Gee, that was a beautiful kick from Akers. Great strength from Akers. Great mark from Riewoldt, but Jack Loney needs to just run away. He wouldn't bruise a grape, so just get out, Jack. Like, seriously, all he's going to do is give a free kick away, but what a great kick from Akers on that occasion.
So Riewoldt for number 5. There it is. A big day out for the skipper in his final game as skipper.
This is great play from Blake Akers. You like it when players take the game on, and to stay up in that tackle from Pierce Hanley and then assess the situation, Jason. You played forward. That kick to advantage, nothing whatsoever Harris Andrews could do, because Riewoldt's one of the best contested marks the game's ever seen, and it was just kicked to his advantage beautifully from Blake Akers, and he's had a day out, isn't he? Nick Riewoldt now, 15 marks, 5 goals, 1.
His best is 18 marks in a game, so he's only 3 behind that with a quarter and a minute and a half to play.
And I think his best for goals from memory is 9.
Yep.
So he's got 5 now.
He's had 7 marks inside the forward 52.
And again, the wooden spoon is still in play here. The Brisbane Lions a chance to still win it if they lose by a massive margin. And we'll keep you in touch with the 8. As well, how far off the Saints are going to miss out by, because amazingly tonight, as that's holding the ball, they're going to miss out on the 8 by percentage the way it's travelling now, which is an outstanding year. To double your wins from 6 last year to 12 this year. What a phenomenal improvement under Alan Richardson.
61.4 percentage.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that.
It's not so much the score that St Kilda's kicking, but every goal that Brisbane kicks makes it very, very tough from a percentage point of view for them to fall below the Bombers.
Essentially double right now. Everything the Brisbane Lions kick, the Saints have to at least double it as we get another ball up inside 50 with 38 seconds left in the quarter.
Straight out behind.
Ben Keys, the last man up. Thrown up, but no decisive victor on that occasion. They might have to do it all again. Well, Gilbert was the man at the bottom of the pack. Robertson tries to thump it clear, and he does well. Gives it off to Armitage, who kicks up towards Bruce on centre wing. Takes a one-hander.
He'll wait till Riewoldt gets into position.
Yeah, Jack Loney streaming down. Akers also. Riewoldt. Loney's the target in the pocket.
Yeah, it's good gut running, isn't it, from both players, Loney and Riewoldt.
He's got to learn to defend Daniel Rich.
Yeah.
He let Jack Loney run straight past him and get goal side.
Well, he won't be able to play on now, Jack Loney. The sign's about to go.
Got to kick the banana.
Yeah, we have to now, because he can't run off the mark, can he now?
So he's got this for his 4th.
Yep.
Kicked 2 in the first term, 1 in this quarter.
On the wrong side for a left footer.
Yeah. So a major challenge. As I said, a major challenge. No addition to the score. So 3/4 time here at Etihad, and the Saints in control, looking to finish at 12 and 10 on the ladder, just outside the 8 on percentage. 17-8, 110 to 9-11, 65. St Kilda at the moment by 45 points. One quarter of football left. Is it 1 quarter for Justin Leppich? Who knows? He's looking down the barrel, certainly on the scoreboard. St Kilda are 17-8, 110 to 9-11, 65. They've stretched their lead at every change, and it is now out to 45 points with, gentlemen, 1 quarter to play before we have a bye. Then we get down to the serious business.
No, really looking forward to, obviously, the finals. But this last quarter, look, St Kilda have had a great year, haven't they? It looks like they're in line for their 12th win.
Yeah, it's excellent news as we go down to the boundary line. Moons, what have you got for us?
Well, it's all about Daniel Merritt in that quarter, wasn't it? He pushed forward after a disastrous first half, playing on Riewoldt, where he took 12 marks basically for the half. But we saw him kick a goal, and then we see everyone get around him. And on his 200th and last game, guys, this is fantastic. See him go forward, take a nice, strong mark. We see him had a couple of big contests as well. And then we see all the boys get around him, which we absolutely love. And after this, probably what we didn't see was he was standing down the goal square and basically doing the lap of honour down there, clapping the fans, clapping the cheer squad down there. So fantastic. Let's hope he can get 1 or 2 more for the game.
Yeah, good on you, Moons.
Yeah, it was a great moment, wasn't it? But geez, St Kilda, you talk about Sandy, Nick Riewoldt handing over the captaincy. He's had a day out, hasn't he, yeah. Nick? He's taken 15 marks and 7 of those inside the forward 50. And we know he's gut running, Jason. You can see we've plotted where his marks are, up around the wing, the logo. But then he gets back on his bike. He's taken 7 inside the forward 50.
Mentioned that 18 was his personal best. Ooh. He's done that on 3 occasions. He's taken 18 marks, and each of those games was here at Etihad Stadium.
So he's not without a chance as we go into the final quarter, starting off with Dwayne Russell. Dwayne-o.
Holmes in the ruck. Martin in the ruck. Rockcliffe, Ross, Matheson, Stephen, and Armitage all waiting down. Martin got his own clearance. Big leap and not quite Hipwood. Didn't bring it to ground. Ross taps it out. Robertson took off. No one came at him. McKenzie. This chip back to Ross. Good movement. Robertson. The lead from Bruce. It was ignored. He wanted to go on. Stephen mops it up. Handball straight to Rich, though. Head central. It won't work. Fisher flicks it out wide to Nunes. Riewoldt back in the square. Heads in that direction. He's got 5. Oh. And that's almost a free for an arm chop. No free. And the big bear hug tackle by Cutler keeps it in the area.
Just the kick from Nunes, just a little bit too high for Riewoldt. He was looking for more grass, I think, from the kick from Nunes. Just a little bit lame after he landed there, Nick Riewoldt.
Holmes beaten for it by Martin. Matheson hurriedly to the defensive 50, but straight to the new boy. Can he kick a goal? Yes, he can. Brandon White, welcome.
We saw Merritt in the 3rd quarter. Now it's Brandon White, the first gamer. They've all got around him, haven't they? That's fantastic. He started the game extremely well. Brandon White, the 2nd pick in the draft for St Kilda last year, behind Gresham, and his eyes lit up, and that I think we'll see a lot of that left foot from Brandon White in the years to come.
As I said earlier, just the 3rd debutant this year for the Saints behind Gresham and Pearce. He'll remember that one for a long time.
It was a big floater too.
Yeah,
it did a bit in the air, but it was a very poor clearing kick from Reece Matheson. When you throw it on the boot deep in defence, you got to get it long and wide.
You'll remember his first game, won't he? Hurt his right arm. He started the game extremely well, and now he's kicked a goal in his first game, and that percentage now, it's 0.3.
So 61.3 and dropping with each St Kilda goal. The Lions heading closer to a wooden spoon. Touch ball. McKenzie told to keep going. Keys drags him down. Couldn't slip the tackle. Zorko. Matheson bangs it on the boot. Got it around the body. All about the bounce. And got to find one.
Well, that was a leg break at its absolute best, wasn't it, from Matheson? Centre clearance has been a premium today. It's a really good goal there for Matheson in the end. McKenzie just dropped the mark. Probably thought he nearly had enough of it. A missed tackle there from Montagna as well. Could have smothered it in the end, but have a look at the ball. Leg break on that occasion. Geary thought he was in the plumb spot, but really good goal for Matheson.
A little bit of luck, but a good answer by Matheson. Martin and Holmes, they've been at it for the bulk of the day. Pretty even contest as far as the ruck duels are concerned. Martin wins it down towards Robinson, who tried to go through like a steam train. Matheson again, claimed by Jack Stephen. Oh, he showed dash and he showed skill as he got it to Weller. He pokes it out wide to Armitage, who's on with that left foot in towards the forward line. Riewoldt, mark number 16.
Yeah, 2 to go, Jace. 3 to go to break his own record, and that's his 8th mark inside forward 50.
I'm surprised that the Brisbane defenders continue to play him from behind when all the marks are on the lead.
Well, he's taken 1 contested mark out of his 16, and as you said, they're all on the lead.
This for number 6, as far as goals are concerned, and he makes no mistake. Boy, 3 goals in the second quarter, 2 in the third, and now that one. 686 goals in a magnificent career, and he's now up to 38 for the season.
Have a look at Riewoldt lead backwards here. And then, it was just amazing how young Hamilton just allowed in that front position. He was in a good spot, Hamilton, but they've got to use their body when they're in front. They've got to use your body as a guard for that dangerous area where Riewoldt leads into. And on that occasion, Riewoldt was too smart.
Never kicked double figures. 9's his best. He's got 6. There's a ton of time left.
Well, there is. He's got his kicking boot on too, Dwayne.
And poor old Hamilton. It's a game 9 for him against a guy in game 319.
Good experience for him, Dwayne.
Yeah, really good, Spud. Really good.
Well, he'll go into the pre-season thinking, I'm playing on a gun, I've got some work to do.
Here he is again, the gun just didn't quite get there and cutting it off Gardner. And as has been mentioned, sitting a guy in front of Riewoldt, not a bad idea either. Wants to go central. He just sits it up high in hope. Fisher stalks it and got there.
Yeah, that's experience. See, in front. Played in front. All his style and experience in front of young Hipwood. He'll learn from that.
Thought about it. Goes short. Nunes. Riewoldt's short. Another mark coming up.
17. 2 to go.
That was about lead number 4 in the space of 30 seconds as well.
And that's the thing, Moons, isn't it, with Riewoldt? You think you've got him covered after 2, and then he just keeps presenting.
Well, he puts his hands on his head and you think he's gone, and then he pushes off and goes again.
Membry got up.
It's a free kick here to Membry, I think.
Advantage has been paid. He didn't know it was his. Montagna had no idea. Well, the umpire, he told Montagna, you have to go. I'm telling you to go. Montagna didn't want to go.
No, you're right, Dwayne. Montagna was there watching, and the umpire said, it's advantage on your bike, and Montagna didn't go, so he said, I'm going to have to bring it back.
I think it's coming back, guys.
Yeah, it is coming back, Moons, and that's what we're talking about. He was waiting for Montagna to take the advantage, but he didn't.
Well, he did, after the umpire said, advantage. Montagna stood there and waited.
He's a little bit disappointed, Joey.
As you would be, but again, he kicks this goal, and it'll be 2 in reply to Brisbane's 1, and again the wooden spoon back in play. And there's a ton of time left in this.
He's had a great year, Tim Membry. It's a player that Alan Richardson's been really patient with. I know Aaron Hamill's done some great work, and you'd see there that, I'm not sure what the free kick was for. He was the guy that went early after looking at that, and you see Montagna looking for the advantage, but after looking at this again...
He's paid it against Zorko for what he said he moved off his line to take the run. But,
I thought Membry actually just had a fair jump at the ball, and Zorko was just trying to use his body. I thought Zorko was a little bit stiff there, but...
They're ones as a forward that you just gratefully accept and move on.
How many goals for Membry for the year now?
Down to 0.2, gentlemen. Look at this.
It's getting tight.
So if you've just joined us, they started the day 61.5. They're down to 61.2 right now.
That's Robertson. Takes on a couple. That's dangerous. Matheson is there. Robertson's still going. Did well in the end. Zorko, little flick to accommodate Martin. Stephen Martin goes towards Bell. Belted away from him by Brandon White. He's not kicking goals, the newcomer. He's back there defending for his side. And getting plenty of encouragement too. Still plenty of time for Riewoldt to rewrite the record books. Shallow throw-in that made it difficult for both sides. Here's Ross giving it to Stephen. Jack gives it off Loney towards centre wing. Wright was a target for the Saints. Couldn't get it cleanly. Matheson gives it out to Zorko. Away he goes with a big bomb towards Merritt, who was buffeted. Was he pushed? Yeah, I thought he might have been. Now he's sitting on it, and he eventually threw it out. Gilbert could have been taken high, but he plays on anyway. And they get out of trouble to Akers. He just waits for players to make a move down and surge downfield. He looks laterally, but eventually goes wide towards Weller. Over his head and over the line. Savage and Armitage preparing to come back on.
Riewoldt also having to sit down at the moment.
Yeah, he's coming back on to Nick Riewoldt a little bit.
Yep, he's on now.
There's one mark to equal his PV, Jace.
So a throw in on centre wing. Holmes turned inside out. Matheson with dash, gets clear, gives it away now to a teammate in Cutler. Tommy Cutler's kick up towards full forward, but again the defence through Dempster standing firm. There's a player down. It's a St Kilda player too. He looks in trouble. Keep an eye on that as Gilbert has it. Goes up towards centre wing.
They're out here.
Montagna
Riewoldt
in towards
Bruce.
Savage.
Well, Geary's in a lot of pain, guys.
He was kneed right in the ribs, guys, in that
I
contest.
think he's got some rib trouble there.
They're still free, Riewoldt.
Montagna's run on down. Bruce is there. He's called out. Riewoldt, and Bruce takes the mark, and he'll kick the goal.
Yeah, Jagiri is a tough lad.
Yeah.
He is in a lot of pain.
They were loose for 30 or 40 seconds, Riewoldt and Bruce Ford, and no Lions pushed back. No one was calling for others to come back.
Bruce gets the goal, his third.
Well, Riewoldt's kick 6, Bruce 3, Membry 2, but the Geary injury, I think it's a knee into his rib cage. Yeah, the left knee into his ribs. He went down and he's in a lot of pain, Geary, and of course the mark down the other end. Savage, beautiful play. Montagna looked up, and they've had forward options. They've had Riewoldt, Bruce. Riewoldt pretty happy.
It could have been
Bruce
his too.
Yeah, he's looked at that, but Geary's he's gone straight down the race.
Yeah, he's gone straight down there, Spud, and you can tell he's in some serious trouble. When the guy walks off, 50 metres, 70 metres, and just can't get into a jog, you know he's in some trouble.
63 points the margin right now. Still 14 minutes left. And the percentage is down to 61.1. So essentially, if they keep scoring 2 goals to Brisbane's 1, they could win the wooden spoon here, the Brisbane Lions, by dropping below Essendon. And the reason that is so big, it's because in the pre-season draft, you get first go at any delisted or any uncontracted player who wants to drop off a list.
Well, of course, O'Meara's one that
there'd be some anxious players watching this at the moment.
He wants to come to Victoria. He might have to go up the road to Brisbane from Gold Coast.
The #1 pick overall, obviously in play by finishing last. Rich kicks that on the full, so the Saints will be heading forward again. 61.1. They started the day 61.5.
Jack Stephen to take the kick. The lead is on from Armitage. In game number 150.
Here's Riewoldt.
Here's Riewoldt, mark number 18.
Well, at some stage, a Brisbane defender has to stand in front of where Nick Riewoldt's going to lead.
Well, the man on the mark, I think it's Hamilman, is it?
Well,
he was looking at Riewoldt when the ball was kicked.
What he needs to do is stand 15 metres in front.
Yeah, but look, he's got his back to it. He's got his back to it when the ball's kicked.
He had to be another 15 metres in front of him there. He was 4 or 5 and had to turn his head.
This for 7, and he's got it. Riewoldt's on his way. Well, he's kicked 7. He's taken 18 marks.
That's a PB.
Unbelievable.
Equal PB, and there's Geary in the hand. Looks a little bit better now. He's taking the big ones. Those ribs. He's going to be sore. Obviously, there's no game next week, and Armitage gets the ball forward, and again, it's just a lesson for these young defenders for Brisbane. They just need to play in front, and if they kick the ball over their head, well, so be it. But to allow Nick Riewoldt 17 uncontested marks on the lead and that's taking nothing away from Riewoldt, by the way. And Merritt's gone back. And Merritt's gone back where he started his career.
33 years of age, Nick Riewoldt, game 319, and he's having what might end up being the best game of his career.
He's had 548 metres gained as well for a forward, Nick Riewoldt. So the amount of running he's done today, the old GPS, I think, to be blown apart.
They might rethink that captaincy thing.
Well, he might. He was the one that's thought it, Blaine.
I'm talking back into it. And everyone's inspired. Armitage.
Yeah. Well, he's playing his 150.
So can Riewoldt even get double figures? That's going to be huge and have his largest goal tally of his career. Billings wide, out of the reach of Dempster, and it rolls out of play. So a couple of stories unfolding here, not just the Riewoldt story, but the wooden spoon story.
Oh.
They are equal on points and equal on percentage, and Justin Lepage is staring at the wooden spoon right now.
We may have to take it to the second decimal point, might we?
Yeah, I think you might have to.
Interesting. Still, there's plenty of time left, 12.5 minutes.
So we're now down to hundredths of percentage points to distinguish between the two.
Rockcliffe goes to Hipwood.
Well, if it's a score here, they'll go back to 7/8, even if he gets it behind.
It's amazing, isn't it, really?
Oh, I know the recruiting officers for both clubs, I know they'll be barracking for.
It's a quiet week next weekend. We could have a playoff for the number one pick.
I think the Brisbane Lions recruiters will be saying, miss.
Eric Hipwood to the top of the square. Dempster's the man in front. They come over the top. Walker.
That's a terrific contested mark.
That's a beautiful mark. He's taking some good marks today. Really good marks.
And he's kicked just the one goal. That was in the second quarter.
St Kilda defenders all looking around.
15 gone.
But it was a good mark.
So this will help their cause as far as that ladder position is concerned. 20 out, directly in front. He gets the goal. He's got 2. And just maybe the Brisbane Lions getting a little bit of breathing space in 17th spot for the moment.
Yeah, well, that will... Here's Walker's mark. It was a really good mark. Great kick from Hipwood. You can see Walker, and the issue was there was 4 St Kilda defenders there. No one really was able to let him get to bump and run. He had free access to the ball, took the ball at its highest point. They all looked around and asked the question. Someone had to try and get some body early on Walker, but it was a really good mark from him.
Broke a run of 4 Saints goals in a row, and they've edged back up to 17th. Justin Lepage unmoved. His heart rate still hovering around 65 beats a minute from those pictures, but you'd reckon it's racing a little harder than that. Rockcliffe flicks it wide. Taylor, Zorko, chance for a second goal in a row. Heads long, goal square. One-handed attempt, dropped. Bouncing ball. Rockcliffe goes back, bangs it around the body, and Walker, goal line, is about to kick 2 in a row. And he could save Justin Lepage a spoon single-handedly. Why they didn't play him every game, it's not sure. They did drop him after recruiting him, which was a little bizarre, but he drills it, and he's got 3.
Yeah, he's been okay today, there's no doubting that, and probably makes the issue for Essendon and Brisbane, whichever way you look at it. It means that St Kilda are probably going to have to kick 4 goals now. It's not beyond them, but these 2 goals in a row, just a hurried kick out of defence. You'd need to get that kick wide. So the St Kilda defenders, they kick the ball straight down the middle of the ground. There's normally an extra player in the opposition. Pretty good mark from that guy in the St Kilda jumper there. Good grab. He's had a good day, Walker.
Now their leading goal kicker. In fact, only Liam Dawson is the other multiple scorer.
Yep, and he finds himself in defence now, Sandy, so probably not likely to add to it.
Armitage, cleverly done to McKenzie, who's got some pace and dash, goes with a high ball. Bruce will be a flyer in the pack, but he's got plenty of defenders there around him. Not out of trouble yet. McKenzie went again. Got the hand pass away. That was clever. Where's Riewoldt? There's Riewoldt! And there's the record.
There's his record.
19.
Again, trailing in from behind there, Daniel Merritt. He's had no support, Merritt or Hamilton, all day from an extra defender. You would have to ask the question.
He's going to go around the corner again. And he's done this very well today.
He has.
He got that ear massage in too, man.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So this for number 8. He's got it.
3. What a game.
Riewoldt, 8 goals, 19 marks, and he has never kicked double figures. The best he's done before this was 9.
Yeah, 19 marks, and a pretty good ear massage in the end from Daniel there. It was actually a double whammy from Source. I think that was just a sign of frustration, but again, just got to guard the dangerous space on this champion player.
Showing good acceleration off the mark.
Oh, isn't he? Their forward stocks look pretty healthy going forward, with McCartan showing a little bit this year, and obviously the #1 ranked player on the ground. Why wouldn't you be with 8 goals and 19 marks?
Could end up with a career best game in a lot of stat areas. They're not done yet, the Saints, although Zorko bursts clear. No one on the goal line. He slips it wide, and Hanley can have a chance at goal. He steps back to silence.
What's amazing, Dwayne, about the last time Nick Riewoldt kicked 9 goals was 10 years ago. It was in 2006.
So he certainly has turned back the clock today, but he's been played forward more today than he...
That's when Jason had hair.
Yeah, McCartan out of the team today as Hanley blasts this wide. So he's played more time forward, and when he did in the old days play more time forward, he was just as damaging.
It's been the best of days for Pierce Hanley. We've seen some terrific form from him in recent seasons, but just struggling a little bit. 15 possessions, 1 goal for him.
Brandon White brings it back into play, and Martin could have almost been paid the mark. Matheson, his hand pass goes astray. There are plenty of Saints there just trying to surge the ball forward, but Taylor intercepts, and so Bruce intercepts as well. Gives it off to McKenzie. No one downfield. They're racing down there now. Riewoldt's wide. Armitage is wide. Savage is going down there as well. They've just got to get it to them. Here's the kick that will count towards Riewoldt. Savage does the shepherding. Riewoldt takes the mark. Number 20.
3 Brisbane defenders all looked at each other and just go back, Nick. He's not going to pass the ball. He's taken 20 marks. It's just been an absolute clinic for Nick Riewoldt.
This for number 9.
Yeah, it's 11. It's his 11th mark inside forward 50, Sandy.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary.
All uncontested.
Riewoldt from 45. It's coming back. Coming back, and he's got 9. His equal best ever in a stellar career.
Oh, this is fantastic. You would think St Kilda, no chance of playing in the finals. But I think he senses something special from St Kilda next year, Nick Riewoldt. He's a super professional, and to play one of his best games in the twilight of his career, it's an honour to be here, really. 20 marks, 9 goals, 1.
They had extra forwards in the attacking 50.
It's just amazing how he's allowed to get so much space. And I think it's due to his work rate, because he did run up to the wing and then ran back, and Savage did the right thing in the end, not going to the ball. Well, why wouldn't you allow Nick Riewoldt? And he's had 10 shots, 9 goals, 1. That's incredible accuracy.
Rockcliffe the sidestep. Stephen Martin looks up. Matheson half held. McKenzie kept his feet, got it off. Billings, Robertson, Stephen, and the crowd roaring for Riewoldt now. They just want to get it forward. They want him to get 10. Short pass, and it goes back. The lead White from Weller. He's up.
Yeah, the 60 points, 1.2 on the ladder again on the left of screen. Brisbane and Essendon.
And they go for Riewoldt. Sits it on him. Just over his head.
Good finally then, Riewoldt.
And the oohs and ahs. So it's the Riewoldt and the wooden spoon show you're watching now. That's what's in play. Riewoldt's greatest ever game, if he can kick the double figures. And can Brisbane Lions stop from winning the wooden spoon this year? Taylor, he looks up. Zorko, Hamilton short of the pocket. He's ignored, loads up, and goals to booze.
That was the right option.
Yeah, it was the right option.
Zorko, because they didn't have any forwards deep in position. They had to carry the ball by hand through the middle of the ground. And in the end, he gets a good hand pass after a bit of good work from Reece Matheson. Mays with a good handball, and that's a good handball inside from Lewis Taylor. And he just summed it up beautifully. That's a really good finish from Dane Zorko. I mean, they're close to kicking 100 points. It's just that they've been unable to defend. They've been unable to win the ball back once St Kilda's had it. They've only got it back when St Kilda's made a mistake.
62 points the margin. Been a round of high scores to victors in the main. Martin, Ross gives it away. Hardy by Stephen. Out wide. Was under some pressure when he took the kick. So the turnover occurred. Here's White with Walker. Well done by Brandon White to Fisher. Back to White again. Back to Fisher. And Chips decides to make the switch. He goes laterally and finds Dempster, who, nice little bulk, and he gets clear, then he flicks it wide. They want to get it down the other end as quickly as they can. Sammy Gilbert's on his bike, and away he goes. It's long. If it's set for Seb Ross, he's in business, and it does. He can give it off now. There's Membry. Where's Riewoldt? There's Riewoldt!
Gee, they're looking for him at every opportunity, aren't they?
Well, that was great defence from Merritt. He was aware of where it was going, but the kick was too good from Membry. Geez, afterburners today, Riewoldt, his speed off the mark has been
good.
Exceptional.
It's too far out to kick this one around the corner.
Yeah, he is.
He's going to have to go with a drop punt.
21 marks, 12 inside the forward 50 now. That was a really good passage of play from Merritt as well. Nothing he could do.
Gets this. It's the highest score for St Kilda this year. Gee, it's a fair kick. Just going across the face. What the marks are we up to now? Nick, 21, is it?
21 marks, 12 inside the forward 50, Sandy.
And if you just joined us, that was for 10 goals for Nick Riewoldt. He's got 9 goals too.
And to just about put Brisbane on the bottom of the ladder too, if you had nailed that.
Well, they're the worst defence in AFL history, the Brisbane Lions. They have conceded more than 23 goals a game this year, and right now they've conceded 24. Matheson to Bell. He feeds it up. Zorko, crutch. First game it got him, then he slipped him. Now that's a duck of the head, which is probably holding the ball.
Good call, Dwayne. Yes.
Kilda free kick.
Against Zorko late.
He came in late onto Holmes, so I think it's Holmes. It's good. Okay, Brandon White's free kick.
So let's see if the Riewoldt party can continue here. That's all the crowd are after.
Well, I think, yeah, you're right, Dwayne.
They might all head down to Riewoldt's end shortly. Gilbert.
He's looking for it.
Short pass. Bruce. Riewoldt short. It's being held by Merritt. Now Riewoldt gets the protection. Leads back to the square. He sits it up. Riewoldt's in a 1-on-4. About to go for it. Still alive in the pocket and taken through by Bastanak.
Savage is down, guys. I think he tried to block Daniel Merritt, and Daniel Merritt...
That's a hold.
Yeah, that's a hold. But I think off the ball again, Savage is down.
In the meantime, Keys has it. Gives it off. In trouble is Bastanak. Swung in a 360. Matheson couldn't do anything. Keys, now Bell. Tommy Bell, penetrating hand pass to accommodate Robinson. The two former Blues go up towards Stephen Martin, and he sees it over the line. Poor disposal once again, letting them down.
Here's Savage coming off the ground, and I think he tried to block Daniel Merritt here, and Daniel's just giving him a forearm, basically to the scone. And
well, it is obviously
that is a best.
No, I should. Sorry,
we shouldn't.
Shane Savage, but
Matheson to Zorko.
Daniel might have a week here.
Well, he won't have a week.
Won't matter.
Better off finding him.
Gives it off. Matheson again from Zorko. In towards goal, over the top and through. So Matheson has suddenly picked up a couple of goals.
He's a talent, there's no doubting that. And that probably puts paid to the bottom of the ladder situation. There's still plenty of time, but St Kilda probably need to kick 3 goals to get Brisbane back on the bottom of the ladder.
This is where we have seen a lot of Reece Matheson this year. In and under at the stoppage, second and third efforts. So he was originally involved in the clearance and then got on the end of it again. That's a good finish.
Four minutes of the season left for these two teams. St Kilda, biggest score they've kicked this year. Riewoldt with 9 goals to his name.
Here's he go.
And Stephen looks up, pumps it long. Riewoldt half held by Merritt. Under the ball, can't get a run at it. Bruce at the back. Riewoldt peels back to the square. Hanley in some trouble. Got it to the line.
The difficulty now is that long kick forward was a perfect example. Every Brisbane defender went to spoil Riewoldt, and the ball came to ground, and they've got to be very, very careful that their focus doesn't all go onto that man. I know he's dominated, he's kicked 9 goals, he's had 21 marks, but you can't just cough up structure because of one bloke.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Josh Bruce and Membry Jason Wright have been on a couple of occasions the last couple of minutes, and I can understand that Riewoldt is the go-to man, but you need other forwards. There's Geary on the bench. Well, that's positive. He's got 6 months to get over those rib injury, and Savage with his...
Got a headache.
A little bit of a headache from Sauce.
Big percentage booster for the Saints, but not enough to get them inside the 8, but still going to be a fantastic season for them. Missing the finals by percentage only. A 12-win year. 12 wins, 10 losses. From the knockdown, Martin, some sort of kick. Robertson about to send it back. Riewoldt can't get the run at it, and the mark safely taken by Dawson, back pocket.
Goes to half-back, dangerous towards Bastanak. Fisher intercepts.
Will he kick a goal? We saw Brandon White. Geary's kicked a goal for defence. Brandon White.
In his 228 games, he's kicked 22 goals, Chips Fisher.
Well, we know he reads the play well, and he read that again. Brisbane have just fallen on their sword, haven't they, with their scores. He'll get the trip. It'll probably just get his distance, I reckon, old Chips.
I'll pull the kick to the top of the square for Riewoldt.
There's space there, Dwayne, you're right.
Riewoldt is there. Fisher now. A deliberate approach from 52 metres. It's going to make the distance, but the accuracy is away and he finds the woodwork. Back in the side this week for what possibly may well be his last game. Walker tried to just paddle it forward to Keys. Does well. Gets it off to Hipwood. Interesting pair of socks Hipwood's wearing today. Down towards the forward line. Rockcliffe should kick a goal, and he does.
That's clever.
Rockcliffe gets his second. He kicked one early in the game in the first quarter. But with just 2 minutes and 24 seconds remaining, it's all elementary now.
No, it's a really good goal from Rockcliffe. He's a hard matchup, isn't he? We know he gets a lot of the ball in the midfield, but I do like him forward because he's such a difficult matchup, and Sean Dempster's probably the right matchup to just see the strength of Rockcliffe to hold his legs, and Dempster's gone to ground, so he's so strong in the one-on-one situations. I would next year look at him playing on ball, but I really like him as a forward because he never loses his feet and he knows where the goals are. And he does get the ball at times in the midfield a lot, but sometimes those possessions don't amount to much. I much prefer him playing forward of the ball.
Still 2.5 minutes left for Riewoldt to kick his 10th if they can get a clearance. Lions get it. Matheson tried to duck into a high one. Ducked into a high one. The murmurs ring around Etihad Stadium again. Leicester, Cutler, Hanley.
Thanks, Jack.
Walker wants it long. He's been marking a few that have been sent long, and that's a bump off the ball on the way in. Free kick against Sorko, who gives it to Armitage. Look away handball to Robertson. Squeezes the kick to Nunes. So one last roll of the dice for Riewoldt's 10th, perhaps. He goes inboard to Fisher. Time ticking down. Armitage looks up. Not a lot to go to. Now Riewoldt feeds back inside 50. He's there for the long bomb if they've got him. Fisher looks up. He's short now, Riewoldt. He led back at the kicker. Weller.
He's looking for it.
There he is.
Pokes it in his direction. Well, he had to leave it in the end.
Well, they can still handball through, Wayne. There's still an opportunity here. There's Armitage.
Well, Armitage looks up. Surely they know he's got 9.
Yeah, well...
Why would Blake Acres give that off there?
I'm with you,
He's
Jace.
kicked it backwards
Just
20 metres.
Yeah.
He was only on a slight angle.
It's his 150th, boys. I reckon
I
that would have been the reason.
understand that, but you know, for a midfielder playing his 150th.
That was such a Scrooge, Josh.
Well, it's not like a goal for merit, is it? I mean, it's a bit different for a midfielder like this.
Game 150 for Armitage.
Butcher it anyway.
Heads toward goal, and the Saints fans get a 25th goal to cheer.
No, it was good from Wayne. Look, Acres in a normal game would go back and kick it, but I suppose you're right. He's looked up to Armitage. He wants to get in that midfield, Acres, and really good mark. He's had a pretty good game, Acres, as well. 18 disposals. We just saw Armitage call for it, so yeah, he's a lot further out, directly in front.
And he becomes the 11th goal kicker for the Saints.
Yeah, with Riewoldt kicking 9 and Bruce 3, Membry 2.
Loney 3.
The highest score for the year. The Saints.
Yeah. Positive signs for the future. Bounce that favours Martin. Can Matheson win it out of the middle? He was taken high again, but he gives it off to Robinson, and he plays on, going inside 50. Brandon White gets back there, and he's got plenty of assistance as well. The ball eventually pushed over the line for one behind.
Seen some high-scoring games, haven't we, different stages? In fact, I think Brisbane kicked 100 points when they got smashed by West Coast earlier in the year.
So 50-minute penalty because he smashed it away after the behind.
Zorko, was it?
Yep.
So Brandon White to be the recipient. He's had a frustrating time, Dane Zorko, today, despite trying his heart out. Picked up 30 disposals. Weller, there's 10 seconds for them to find Riewoldt. They'll need 2 marks. Oh, no, they need 1. Loney over the top, puts them inside 50, but Matheson is there, pushes towards the line, and it's all too late. Siren beats them, but what a day for Nick Riewoldt, as Daniel Merritt in his 200th and final game says, "Pal, you're too good for me on the day." But Nick will be saying, well played to you over a long period of time. Josh Bruce goes up to congratulate him on his achievement. But a big win for the Saints, 161 to 103. So once again, the Lions, Jason, have managed 100 points, but it's at the other end of the ground.
There wasn't a lot of defence in play today. I think once the ball was in a player's hands, it became that team's opportunity to do something with it and score unless they made an error. And Brisbane made a lot more errors than the Saints did, but it was a big day for Nick Riewoldt. He was the man in the midst of everything today, and Cameron Mooney's tracked him down.
Yeah, thanks, Jace Rui. I mean, talk about a great win to finish the season off. I mean, 3 out of the last 4. Must be very proud of the way they finished the season off.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure what this, maybe 9 out of the last 12 as opposed to 3 out of the last 4 is a really pleasing aspect. And yeah, it was important that we finished the year off really strongly. We've made a lot of ground and shown a lot of improvement, but we spoke as a group about the importance of playing to the last minute of the season. We don't know next year what the situation might be. We might need to win our last game to get into a final, so just to practice that situation.
Well, 12 wins for the year, and like you said, you've only just missed out on the finals on percentage. So the rise of this group, you're seeing it year after year since Richo's taken over, is impressive.
Yeah, it has been. It's been gradual and been steady, and I think that's always going to be the case when you go through a really transparent rebuild like we did. So that takes time, but once you get games into the young players that we've got, they mature into great AFL senior footballers, so that's the journey that we're on, and it's enjoyable.
And what about yourself, really? You're just a fine bottle of wine, mate. You just keep getting better in age. I mean, you've taken 21 marks today. I don't know if you realise that's a record for you. You had 18 was your previous best, and just a lazy 9 goals.
Yeah, no, it was always nice to get down on the end of it up forward. It's been a while for me, actually, since I spent that much time up forward. It was enjoyable today, and more importantly, a good way to finish the season for the team.
Go and enjoy, mate. You deserve it.
Yeah, well done indeed to Nick Riewoldt. The Saints, 58-point winners here at Etihad. We'll be back with more right after this. So time call on the career of Daniel Merritt after 200 games with the Brisbane Lions. He's been a warrior in defence for a long, long time, Spud.
He certainly has, Sam. He kicked a goal in his first game, kicked a goal in his 200th. He's had a great career, let's face it. He's got the best out of himself, and while reports won't see the last of him with the Brisbane Lions, he'll have some sort of job up there. So well done to Daniel Merritt.
Yes, absolutely elated when he kicked that goal in the third quarter after being moved forward. But there's the story, 25-11, 161 to 15-13, 103. A big finish by the Saints in the end with a 8-goal blast, and they did it really well. 161 to 103, 58 points the margin. Two sides at the moment, Jason, briefly going in different directions.
Well, one's on the move, one's got structure, and one looks to be progressing, and the other a little stagnant with some big holes to fill.
No doubt about that, and I'm sure all of that will be played out in the next few weeks. There's been a lot of rumours, but very few facts coming forward. But I'm sure, we hope that Brisbane will certainly get their house in order in the next few weeks and look forward to 2017. And St Kilda, on the other hand, well, it's all positive after recording 12 wins for the season, something they haven't done for 5 years. In fact, double their wins from last year. So very positive news, but
no, it is, and they're not going to lose anyone, Sandy. Probably Alan Richardson, he'd be wrapped with Matty Finnis there. Obviously Nick Riewoldt going on next year as well, and Carlisle coming into the fold, young Paddy McCartan. So you would expect them to play finals next year, but they've still got to do it, another pre-season under their belt. But it's a big tick for them this year.
One assistant coach, Paul Hudson, finishing up.
Yeah, and he's still got a job to do with Sandringham, their affiliate team in the VFL, so they're in the final, so it'll give the opportunity from youngsters, and that's been the story as well. Young Gresham and White playing his first game today, he kicked the goal. But it's great to be here today to see Nick Riewoldt, Jace, 21 marks, 9 goals, 2. It's some of the better shooting for goal we've seen from Nick Riewoldt.
Put on a great display, didn't he? And that was the kicking that he'd love to have had throughout his entire career. Unfortunately, it's haunted him at times, but not today. It was poignant to see him with Sam Fisher at one stage there, walking around, and they were just thanking a few of the fans for their support throughout the course of the year. We know that Riewoldt will be here next year. We don't know about Fisher. Yeah,
that's right. And you're spot on. And there's Alan Richardson talking to the first game of Brandon White. I think he's found another one there. He's a really good height, good left foot. But you're right, with Sam Fisher getting to him, it'll a lot depend on whether St Kilda can obviously get another smallish type, defender with speed. So there's Nick Riewoldt. This is the last game as captain, Sandy.
Yep.
And what a way to go out. He's probably played his best game of his career.
It's extraordinary, really. 220 games as captain of the club. It's only Steve Kernahan that sits in front of him by half a dozen. 319 games in total for the Saints. And just turning back the clock today. A memorable day indeed, and just a great way to finish the season. They come inside, while outside at Etihad the siren sounds and hundreds of youngsters pour onto the ground. But let's hear it for the team. That's what they're saying inside.
Yeah. I know it's they're going to need another pre-season. They'll have a couple of quiet ales tonight, and obviously tomorrow, the boys. But they need a pre-season, hopefully develop into a finals team. That's what they all want, and that's what Alan Richardson wants.
And Brandon White in the middle. First game, we're about to get showered.
Yeah, the shower of the Gutterade.
Well, they spared him the cordial, which is